Oh my gosh. Better lower that. Keep it auto. Yeah. Heaven sends me hating you, and if in you fear you've reason to, I am not your sevenfold. The pieces come to claim on you, oh, Archangel. 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 Heaven sends me here with you, and if in you fear you've reason to, I am not your sevenfold, and this is God to claim of you. Archangel. Archangel. Oh, hello, Mike McLean music. uh, can you hear my voice and stuff? What is this? Are you asking about what this stream is about? It's about Ween Rarities, if that's what your question is. Thank you for tuning in. It's gonna have the ultimate showdown, hopefully. And this time it should be hopefully sort of easier because there will be. I wonder if it just chopped this like opening bit off, but because the stream doesn't really start until then. I did say I was going to start at like 6 p.m. or whatever, because last time I said it was going to. Thank you for letting me know that. Last time I said I was going to start it at 6 p.m., but I had it scheduled to start at 5:45. And some sort of thing happened. That did not happen this time. I'm wondering if I should just like wait until 6. Hope we can at least get a couple people joining in here. Because the idea of this is that it's a tournament bracket with Ween Rarities. Of course, what I define as a rarity is basically anything that's not a part of their official discography, which means their 10 albums, which include Shinola, in my opinion, because, I wouldn't say Did You See Me as a rarity, right? Because you can very easily listen to it. And I also think it does not include the Friends EP, because even though that is not an album, it's the more readily available one. You've got like the Voodoo Lady EP, the Sky Cruiser, right? Sky Cruiser, I think, is a rarity because you can't listen to it on Spotify or anything. It's a rarity or a movie or a song they did for a TV show or a movie or whatever. One of those kind of deals, right? Ah, hello, Johnny. So that's another thing is that this has a grand total. Hello, Johnny. How you been? This is not all encompassing. It's just because if it was, holy crap, it would be it would be too much. It really would. Um, so this I counted this. What you're seeing here is of course this bracket, uh, and should see it as I'm scrolling down here. So there's going to be a grand total of, I think I counted 63 matchups. So that means 63 examples of X versus Y song. And these songs, in terms of how they're matched up, it's just random. This is a bracket. I technically made this bracket, but I did not create these little cards for these. That was created by another awesome Ween fan somewhere. I have no idea who did that for kind of a tier list thing. And I just kind of took as many of them as I could that were, these are mostly, I guess, demos and there's some that they did they're all rarities, but, there's the demos, unreleased, just generally unreleased stuff, songs they did for TV and movies. And just being, I could not include everything. I just couldn't, because if I did, oh my God, this would be, we would be here for like 12 hours at least. And I don't really want to. I wanted this kind of be a bit more manageable than the last stream, because that went on for so much longer than I thought it would. I thought it would go on for like 3, maybe 4 hours. It went on for 6 hours. I guess I just can't help myself with talking about this stuff. But this is just like a simple matchup for song. And this time, hopefully I can just do a little poll. That way it's just, I can do a poll in the chat and be like, hey, which of these two songs do you prefer or whatever? And you can just vote for it. And you can also just I think that my ideal kind of format I would have for this is I would ask like, hey, there's these two songs, and I'll ask you sort of like, what do you guys think of the song? And as I'm typing up a little poll for you guys to vote in, hopefully y'all can be like, oh, I think this song is good and this one sucks or whatever, and I like this song, blah, 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 or whatever. And hopefully that will work out. I am wondering if I should just wait until 6 p.m. because I guess I didn't account for the fact that last time I kind of had some technical problems, so I had to start at about 6 p.m. This I actually was able to start like 5:45, so I haven't done anything yet. Wonder if I should just wait. What do you think? Coco versus Vallejo is brutal. Ooh. Yeah, where are those? And I'm wondering, oh, that's right there. It's right there in front of my face. Yeah, there's, again, these matchups are just like random. And in terms of the selection, I tried to sort of pick what I thought were, if you've seen my favorite rarities video, where I basically explain what my favorite Ween rarities are, and that kind of list is subject to change. I'm not even sure what my order would be for like my top 20 or whatever now. But I tried to include, as many of the sort of highlights as I view them to be highlights as I could, you know. So I think I'm not sure how many songs there are total in this. I could count them again, but I know that there's 63 matchups. So, gosh, I'm not sure how many that would be in terms of just songs. Might as well count them. Okay, so that should be 62, right? 62 songs, if I'm not mistaken. And there's certainly some interesting songs, you know. And I know that the Ween rarities are sort of something that is not often looked upon the same degree that the official stuff is, but it's sort of one of my favorite things about the band is that there's so much. The extent to which the rarities and stuff exist is crazy. So Mike McLean music, if I'm believing it's you, you did you're at a Halloween get together of some sort, and you covered some Ween, which is cool. And I noticed it looked like the same get together. It looked like the same show or establishment or whatever that Colin Lamb, his group, they like. I saw there was some video I saw where they did a cover of Buckingham Green. It was like a little Ween tribute or something, or maybe it was just their band and they just did a cover of that song. I had no idea that. I remember them talking about that they were doing uh, sort of a set that night as like a Halloween party or whatever, just doing a set like that. But I had no idea that you would also be there. It was kind of strange, but it was cool. It was a cool thing to see what you did and also their performance. The Tender Situations, that's their name. That's right. He's talked about that before. It would have been awesome to be there, but like it would have, that would actually be really cool. It's just as a hypothetical thing. Not that I don't want it to actually happen. I would like it to actually happen. It's just that it's only hypothetical because it's like, well, it's probably not going to happen. But just the idea of, playing a show like that. I did go to this thing that happened in, yeah, you did. And, I just, I wasn't, I'm too far away and scheduling, and I had like gigs that I needed to play with, my bands and stuff. Maybe someday if, scheduling and travel is a thing. I mean, definitely like sort of a virtual, like, doing something together online, collaborating in some way. I'd be totally down for that. I'd be down to play something live in real life. It's probably not likely to happen realistically speaking. I am starting to I'm starting to suspect that perhaps that the technical issue of last time may have been some sort of a blessing in disguise of some sort, just because I sort of need to learn that I need to start stream at the actual time when it starts and not, 15 minutes. I did it 15 minutes earlier just because last time I figured I'd need some time to sort of buffer and get my setup going. But really, I should use that time beforehand and then start at the time I actually said it was going to start. Last time you said we were going off album versions. We kept talking about the live version. Well, I uh, I was going off of sort of the combination of the two. I try to keep them both in mind. So for Touch My Tutor, which live just crushes and it's this like anthem, on the album it's basically just something for comedy. Even though it has qualities that are still good, like the solo on the album still crushes, just like how it does live. I sort of what I factored them both in is what I did, because I felt like, you know, and also last time it was and hopefully this time will be the same kind of deal. Is I'm just sort of I will throw my opinion in there if I need to, but I will also just uh, I'm sort of being a vessel where I was gonna do like a poll, just like, all right, what do you all think of this matchup? You know, X versus Y, and you all vote for which one. And then if it's a tie or whatever, then I will throw my hat into the ring and be like, okay, well, I'll factor my opinion in. I'll explain my opinion, but it's mostly just supposed to be a vessel for you guys to be like, yeah. But I tried to, in terms of my opinion on them and how I personally ranked them, I had to keep in mind the live version and the album version. I was going off of both of them, not necessarily one or the other, which is also why, which is also why I, it's why, you know, a song like She Fucks Me, which I think is live is an amazing, tender song, but on the album it's almost anything but. So I couldn't necessarily put it in the same league just in terms of that, because I had to factor in the album version. So that means I factored in both live. If it completely transforms live, then I kind of have to factor that in. But I'm mostly going off the album version, if that makes any sense. And especially for songs off the Mollusk or whatever, it's less necessary to have to rely on the live stuff. But trying to factor kind of all of it in. Number one, So Long Jerry. That was the top. That was the top of my rarity, my personal favorite rarities list in a video I made a little while back. I don't remember exactly. I think it was the start of 2023. Was that what it was? It was like January 1st when I recorded it or whatever. And yeah, it's an amazing song, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if it wins this little thing. So I'm almost contemplating. Should I should I just sort of start, and as I go along, the more hope, if anyone else kind of shows up, should I just like do this as my opinion, or should I do what I originally was sort of planning on and have, so that if people show up, you know, they'll vote? Should I? What do you think? Have fun. Oh, we have four. Oh, wait. I think one of those is what I was doing. If anyone is here and wants to get this tournament started, then just let me know in the chat if anyone has any thoughts. I know that if there's a chance that Jebby watches, he might not be because he's probably busy or whatever. But I knew that if he would be, then I know for a fact that if he was, then he would be able to vote on a lot of these because I remember after I don't care if I out him because I know he doesn't care, but I know if he just started voting along, he would be able to sort of vote for a good bit of these because these are not all what comprised my list, but I tried to include as many of them as I could. Unfortunately, certain songs like Love Will Conquer All and I Like You and stuff were not really, I couldn't really include them because they weren't on the pool of songs on the tier compilation that I saw. Maybe I should just like start ranking these. I should start just sort of judging these on how I would rank them. And then if people join, then I could just sort of like do it over again or whatever. And people can just start voting if anyone thinks that's a good idea. Hello. If anyone can actually hear me, the connection might be a little screwy here. Okay, it says my connection might be a little bit better now. Okay. We're seeing some people. All right. All right, can you... I'm going to see here. I'm scrolling up and down on this right about now. Let me know if you can actually see this happening. You looking like a bag of fat. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes, you can see it. Okay. There is going to be a bit of a delay between me and you all, it looks like, unfortunately. But that being said, I'm going to look here. They have so many rarities. Okay, I'm going to give a little spiel again. Oh man, the stream, the quality of the stream is like going all over the place. Good Lord. So I really have no idea how it's looking and or sounding on your all's end. I have absolutely no idea. So if you all can, all the demos, should I fix that? You know what, M. Garrison? We'll get to what La Cucaracha demos appear on this tournament bracket. We'll get to that. But, and if you all can actually hear me, sorry, I keep on asking this, but the stream connection, it says, is like really rough. So that's a bit screwy, but we'll get to it. So basically, I'll just give this whole spiel. Beyond Wife, as I've never heard of the other one. Be My Wife is certainly, well, have trouble seeing to begin with. Well, sorry, man. Well, I mean, I've gotten one with glasses, so. Okay, now it says that stream quality's okay. It's probably going to fluctuate constantly, hopefully. Hopefully not, but we got some people. It says only one person. We got some people commenting. I don't know, man. I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to give this whole spiel. Basically, what this is a tournament bracket. We have a grand total of, in terms of matchups, I think on the total number of songs that's included on here, it should be 62, which means that there's going to be a total of about 63 matchups, you know, X versus Y, so to speak. And hopefully hopefully this will be a bit of a more straightforward kind of stream than in terms of the format, because what I could do is just sort of say, okay, Bag of Fat versus So Long Cherry. That's the first one. And this was just randomized in terms of what the matchups are and what order. It was just randomized. So basically the idea is I'll get two of them together and then I'll say, okay, tell me what you think of this, and then I'll type up a little poll so that you can vote on. Or if things go south or whatever, I'll just have you be like, just tell me which one you think is better, like type it in. So basically, this is just telling you right now, there's nowhere near all of the rarities. Like, just can't do it, because that's like, we'd be here for like 15 hours straight. And that's like, could I talk about this band for 15 hours straight? Absolutely. But, you know, just in terms of like viability, not sure about that. So that's the general. Some of them, do we go just based off demos or include live version? Yeah, just general, the song. Especially some of the rarer ones that have never been played live. I say just go with your gut and include whatever. Yeah, Jeff Adler, so long, Jerry. So yeah, just telling you right now. And if you all remember from my video I put out, I want to say the beginning of 2023, or maybe it was longer ago than that. Maybe it was 2022 or whatever. Or maybe it was 2021. I don't even remember. It couldn't have been 2021. But I have my top favorite Ween Rarities that I did. And that list had about 23 songs on it. 3 of them were honorable mentions, I think. But it was like my top 20. And that list is subject to change. I tried to pick like highlights, right? Like I didn't include the what's the one where it's the one chicken and bean where it's just I got the chicken, I got the beans, I got the chicken, I got the beans. I didn't include stuff like that. Sorry. I love this band, but I'm not going to pretend like I think that's a highlight. If you do, that's fine. I just tried to include, like the big ones, like So Long Jerry, and some more obscure ones and stuff. Not super obscure, though. I guess they're sort of the more well-known ones and stuff. So I guess right about now we can start really getting into this. So basically the idea is I'm going to say, all right, these two songs, what do you guys think? And you guys can sort of tell me what your opinion is. And then I will type up a little poll and you guys can just like vote for which one in the chat. So that's going to be the general idea. There's so many great songs. Did you include The Mind? I don't think I did. I didn't. I was limited in my options somewhat from the options I took for this. It did not include anywhere near all the rarities. And I couldn't do that anyway. If I could, just be too big. And if I made it too big, if I made it any bigger than this, I pretty much need to like double the size of it. So it was like I need to double it or keep it kind of condensed. And 62 songs isn't short as far as I'm concerned. It's a Dr. Shy Jones. I'm glad that it recommends it. I mean, it's a mind-blowing composition and recording and performance. But I guess we'll just get into this now. So we are now on the quest to find out what the ultimate Ween rarity is. So I guess I'll just say I guess we're starting now. I think it's going to keep in this view. Bag of Fat versus So Long Jerry. As most tournament brackets are, it'll get pretty brutal towards the end, especially as the options start to dwindle and you really got to pick between the absolute favorites. So I'll just say, what do you all think of So Long Jerry versus Bag of Fat? And the way it works is I'll just type in a poll. You guys can vote. And if it's a tie or God forbid no one votes, then I will just insert my opinion to be the tiebreaker, so to speak. So what do you all think of for the first time today? This is goofy. Yeah. Bag for sure. Wow. Bag of Fat. It's certainly funny, especially the if it has the extended intro. I don't know if it's called part 1, part 2, but that spoken word intro is so bizarre. It's like the most subtle. It's like the most subtle, weird, wacky voice Junior's ever done. Okay, so there should be a little poll in the chats. So we've got hard numbers for you all. So you can just be like, isn't So Long Jerry really mellow? It absolutely is. It's almost, it's it kind of needs to be. So I mean, if I was just I'll say what my opinion is on these, but I'll only sort of let my opinion weigh in if it's split. If it's a split thing, then I will, let my opinion override it. Not override it, but be the tiebreaker. So if it's 50-50 and it ends up that way, then I'll just be like, well, I guess that, so whatever. So Long is a great country tribute to Jerry Garcia. It absolutely is. I'm not even like a huge Deadhead. I don't have anything against the Dead. And I respect them, and they've got great songs for sure. It absolutely is country-ish. It's a slow country ballad. It's funny to pick Bag of Fat is kind of fun and quirky, but I just can't bring myself to say that it's better than So Long Jerry. So it looks like Jerry's only 60% lead, which is kind of blowing my mind. I was kind of expecting to be a blowout, but yeah, Bag of Fat's fun, I guess. Whatever. So it looks like So Long Jerry is going to be our first winner. All right. So next up, we have Be My Wife versus Joe Cannoli. I know what I would vote for. Again, my sort of list is subject to change, of my personal favorites. It's hard to compare stuff like this. Absolutely, it 100% is. And again, I want to hear what your guys' opinion on that, because it's weird. I wasn't expecting honestly anyone to say Bag of Fat is like better than So Long Jerry, but I like hearing. Yeah, I mean, to me, Be My Wife is definitely the easy pick. I remember hearing was it Diener said that this was just like a goofy recording that they made, that he found. That's like this crappy dumb thing that they made that he just found on a hard drive somewhere. And I'm like, it kind of sounds like you don't know Joe Only. It's just kind of like a loud fat. They're doing a goofy voice, and you're not missing much. But hey, I mean, you should listen to it. You know. You probably know him, Be My Wife, and if you don't, then you should. It's so beautiful, so Beatlesque, which is funny because that new Beatles thing, quote unquote, last Beatles song came out. Whatever. Yeah, Be My Wife, just an amazing song. It's such a shame that is like one of my go-to examples. Just the whole Long Beach Island stuff in general. What is Joe Cannoli? Is there 0 votes in the poll? It also... That's weird. It says there's 0 votes in the poll, but it also shows that Be My Wife has a lead. It just says they're both 0%. Joe Cannoli, it's whatever. It's... I swear I saw that like 3 people voted for Be My Wife. So I'm pretty sure might have been a better closer than She's Your Baby. Yeah, I know you voted. I'm sure you did. That's weird. It had a little like, okay, hopefully this won't be too wrought with technical issues, but I saw you guys vote. I think literally everyone voted for Be My Wife, thank God. I like that, like, almost no one knows Joe Cannoli, and I'll listen to it, and it's like, it's whatever. It's, like, kind of funny, but it's kind of a throwaway. I mean, you know, and that's the thing, is a lot of these suffer from demoitis. Joe Cannoli's trying to hack it. Maybe he is. Oh, my God. So, yeah, okay. That was definitely the winner's Be My Wife. I don't think anyone's going to dispute that. All right. Puerto Rican Power versus I'm Wide Open. From what I was seeing, it actually appears that I might sort of have a disagreement with the overall consensus on this one. Yeah, it's 100%. But now, in terms of some benefit for demoitis, yeah, I the fact that they're demos and they're lo-fi kind of adds to the charm of them. In my opinion, between I'm Wide Open and Puerto Rican Power, I'm not going to lie. When I first heard I'm Wide Open, I was a little disappointed by it. I know a lot of people really love it. I've always really liked Puerto Rican Power. I don't know about that weird opening, that first part that's like called part 1 or whatever for that one. But I've the actual, like the normal version, I guess, the Puerto Rican Power, the power of love. I always really liked it. I'm going to do another poll. If these polls keep on like kind of messing up in terms of showing the percentage, then I will just have you guys call them out. I just figured maybe it would be better just to have the hard numbers there. 4 votes. Puerto Rican. Okay, I know a lot of people like I'm Wide Open. I think it was kind of annoying. I think that's a particular, like the vocal is kind of interesting. It's kind of catchy, sort of, but it definitely seemed more like there was. It's a real case of demoitis because it feels like there's not that much to it as a song. You never heard I'm Wide Open. I always had it because it's on Caesar, and pretty much everything on Caesar is great. But like I'm Wide Open, people called like a highlight. So I remember when I first listened to that, I was like, this is the like guitar synth whatever is just like too loud and too dominating. Is I'm Wide Open the closer on Caesar? Oh my God. I don't remember it being it probably is the closer. I just don't remember where it was in the track scene. That sucks. I mean, see, it's just a bunch of demos, so the closer on that doesn't really matter as much as like it does on a real album. Yeah, Puerto Rican Power is very clearly winning this. Not nearly as split as I thought it was going to be. Long Beach Island versus Ambrosia Parsley. All right. Now, this is one I could see people being split on more than like the last one. It's definitely like different and unique. I didn't think it was nearly as good as so many other songs on Caesar. But now that we're onto Long Beach Island, take that as a negative. Yeah, I mean, Puerto Rican Power is so powerful and fun. It's so over the top and catchy. Crap, this is tough. Yeah, this is like one of the first kind of more tough one. Honestly, it's not tough for me. I know what I would pick. I need to keep remembering to actually start these polls. All right, Long Beach Island versus Ambrosia Parsley. How much Satan we fit in a day? Ambrosia Parsley. So yeah, I would pick Long Beach Island. Ambrosia Parsley is certainly fun. Some fun guitar work and the groove's good. It's just a bit too repetitive, and I think Long Beach Island, you could say it's wacky, but like it would have fit really well on the Mollusk, even though I think it was written after the Mollusk was done. And I think they wrote it about being on Long Beach and stuff. But I love it. It's so catchy and it's oddly heartwarming. That they did such a good job on that with songs on the Mollusk, making songs that are goofy but also heartwarming and kind of emotional. Ambrosia Parsley's fun. It's funky, but between these two, it wouldn't really be tough for me. I think Long Beach Island beats it. But this is totally one where I could be like, okay, I get why people would prefer Ambrosia Parsley. Nothing wrong with it. It's good, but it looks like Long Beach Island wins. Now I'm Freaking Out versus Mountains and Buffalo. Mountains and Buffalo is one that people really seem to love. Yeah, good guitar work, and you can learn how to more or less play that if you check out my guitar solo lesson for Ambrosia Parsley. Yeah, but no, his guitar work and that's fun. It's a fun little song. Mountains and Buffalo is, Now I'm Freaking Out and Mountains and Buffalo. Now I'm Freaking Out is certainly a lot more energetic, but Mountains and Buffalo sounds great. I don't know, was it released as like a B-side or whatever? It's a really well mixed song. It's got a real nice openness to it, a nice feel to it. So much better live. Studio, you don't like as much. I like the live version, but I also really like the recorded version of Now I'm Freaking Out. I think it's like fun and it's got some peppiness to it, some energy. And now I'm freaking out. But they're both good. Mountains and Buffalo kind of feels to me like it lacks like a big nice hook or whatever, but it also feels nice. It feels like you're standing on the mountainside and you're taking in this grand view of, the valley or whatever. And there's lots of really nice vistas and you're getting a cool breeze go through you. It's on the Japanese CD with Uvala. Okay. So it definitely sounds official. So that helps it a bit. I might pick Now I'm Freaking Out. But I like Mountains and Buffalo too, but I think I mostly just like it because it's simple and it sounds good, I think helps. And that's why it kind of stands out among all the other rarities because so many of them are rough demos and stuff. Looks like Freaking Out is winning, so gonna go with either one of them. I could too. I guess I would go with Now I'm Freaking Out, but they're both like solid. They're both solid. Friend Jebby really loved Now I'm Freaking Out, which I found cool. I guess I'm freaking out. Now I'm freaking out. Now wins. now I'm freaking out, has beaten Mountains and Buffalo. For So Long versus Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. Oh boy, this is like the first really tough one for me. I can't. Mountains and Buffalo's Tom Petty-ish? Absolutely. Yeah, I can totally hear that with like the simple strummy chords and the just the melodic nature of it. It feels very Tom Petty like. But now we have the first tough matchup, in my opinion, for in terms of what I would vote for. For So Long versus Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. Did Diener write that? Is that why the Dean Ween group played it a lot? It's a really pretty song, but For So Long is also amazing and pretty. That's like, to me, sounds like a very Diener song. But again, I don't know. It's hard to say who wrote each of these songs, really. I mean, because it really could be either of them. Like Be My Wife, I'm almost positive that Gina wrote that about the woman you married and stuff. But For So Long, like, I would say it sounds like a Gina song, but really I don't know. Keep that poison talk. Yeah. I guess I would have to go with Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. I do think it's a bit more fleshed out as a song. If I was just going off I kind of would rather listen to For So Long at the moment. But I think they're pretty comparable in terms of quality, but I think I would have to give it to Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. I think it's a more fleshed out song. The Dean Ween Group version has different lyrics? Huh. I know it's a line from the song, yeah. I don't know why I was laughing. I was laughing at something unrelated, I think. Looks like Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying is winning. So I guess that's going to give it an advantage. Yeah, depends on the mood. Shinola Volume 2. Oh man, you just literally take this because there's 62 songs on this bracket, and like they're not all total winners. Joe Cannoli is kind of whatever. We talked about that earlier. And I like how everyone's like, I don't know, what is Joe Cannoli? What are you talking about? I guess Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying wins off of one vote, but it's a strong one. Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. That might be the first time the right option won. Cornbread Red versus Sweet Texas Fire. Let's all hear this. I would definitely go Cornbread Red, personally. It's so catchy and so fun. Cornbread red, all that cornbread gone to your head. Sweet Texas Fire is fun, I guess, but it also feels kind of forced, if I can be honest. It's fun to play on guitar, though, and I have a lesson for that one. But yeah, Sweet Texas Fire, it's fine. But I love Cornbread Red, and I love when they started playing that. They played it, I believe, they played it when I saw them at the Fillmore, Silver Spring, I believe. Didn't know either, so not voting. Thank you. Thank you, Mike McLean. If you don't know either of them, I appreciate that you're not just like, well, I'm going to vote anyway. Oh, I'm going to end this poll. Those are two of my favorite B-sides. You're talking about Cornbread Red and Sweet Texas Fire? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Mike McLean, you think Cornbread Red is meh? I guess that's fair. It's not the deepest song, but I like it quite a bit. I just find it really catchy, and the lyrics are fun, I think. I don't remember all the lyrics, but it's a charming song, I find. I gotta keep remembering to actually have the poll brought up. Cornbread Red's a little too long. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't overstay its welcome for me. I don't find it too long. I don't know why. I guess I just like the sound of it. I love the vocal harmonies, and the instrumentation's really sweet. Sweet Texas Fire is great live. Yeah, it definitely has, I guess it has more energy to it. It's like a faster, more up-tempo song. Gets stuck in my head fairly often. It actually doesn't for me. I don't find it that catchy, personally. Cornbread Red's like the exact opposite, where it's like more lackadaisical. Ooh, we might have our first 50-50 split. I don't like cutting people off, but I also try to end the poll. Uh, ooh, looks like Texas just had one more vote. I will only count my opinion as a vote if it ends up being 50-50, which it has not been so far for any of them. Okay. Sweet Texas Fire. Looks like Sweet Texas Fire wins. Eulogy for David Anderson versus Mango Woman. Mango Woman I like fine. I guess that's kind of a reggae influenced track. To be completely honest, it's short, so I guess this helps, but I think I like it more than any of the reggae influenced songs on their actual albums. I like it more than Nicole because it's like short and succinct. It's funny. My favorite version is probably the Live in the Cat's Cradle version because it's brown and it's funny. Jeaner's vocals on that make me laugh. So it's kind of a shame that it's just getting absolutely destroyed by Eulogy for David Anderson. It's one of the most beautiful, tragic songs ever made. Mango Woman's like, I can see how some people might find it ear grating and annoying. For some reason, I don't find it ear grating or annoying. But yeah, it's no contest for me. But let's see what all... Wake up in the morning. Wake up in the morning. It's funny. Oh my God, we might... This is not as much of a landslide as I'm seeing it. Okay. Mango Woman. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, people, you're gonna vote for. Oh my God. Mango Woman's in the lead. Oh my goodness, gravy. Wow. Yeah, this is not how I was expecting this to turn out. It really wasn't. Smoke some grass and get really, really high or weed. That is not on this list, Mike McLean. I had to make some cuts, and there were some songs that I just couldn't put on there because they weren't part of the set of songs. So if I did not include a song, don't see it as like an insult necessarily. Flying V violin on TV. A flying V violin? That's pretty crazy on TV. Isn't that the worst when you see something on TV and you want like an explanation for it, but it's just like the channel changes or whatever when you're in a bar or whatever, and it's just like, well, that was something. Demo version of Nicole, part 4? Part 4? What? I've never heard that. Is it like good? I'm assuming that's why. David is losing. This is so sad. Yes, I agree. Oh, but now it's 50-50. If it ends up being 50-50, I can come in and swoop in and save the day. Never liked Ween doing reggae. I don't either, but for some reason I'm okay with Mango Woman. If I had to choose, I would probably say my favorite version is the Live in the Cat's Cradle version. It's just a bit... Can't rewind TV. It's such a shame. Okay, it looks like it's a 50-50 split. I might have to just call this right now. I'm going to call it a 50-50 split. And... since it is our first 50-50 split, I'm going to swoop in with my own opinion and count it. It's very, very, very slow. Interesting. I'm going to say that Eulogy for David Anderson. I was really interested. I was like, oh my God, Mango Woman, speak out. Anyway, so The Wind is Whispering, or I guess it's just called The Wind, versus I'm Fat. These are like complete opposite songs. And you know what? This is kind of tough for me. This is surprisingly tough. The week get weaker, even though it was recorded in like 3 minutes. Fruit Man goes crazy, though. Fruit Man goes crazy, Jeff Adler. What do you mean by that? You mean it goes crazy like, oh, it goes hard, it's great, or like it's insane and terrible? Anyway, The Wind is Whispering versus I'm Fat. They're completely different kinds of songs. I appreciate the atmosphere and sort of chilliness of The Wind is Whispering. It's very Pink Floyd-esque. It has a lot of power to it in that regard. But you know what? I'm Fat is short and dumb, but it's so funny. I know it's not as good of a song, but it's fun and dumb. Uh, but at the end of the day, because the wind is whispering, it feels a bit aimless. Don't know either one of them by name. The wind is whispering, and I'm coming back. I'm fat. I can't remember the lyrics. It's literally just the same like bit of lyrics over and over again. I think I'm fat is the objectively like weaker song, but I would probably rather listen to it now. But can't vote on this one. Fair, fair. Again, I appreciate you guys choosing to not vote if you don't know both songs, because I like having you guys' honest opinion here. Basil version of the wind is so cool. It's very mature for early word. I don't know about the Basil version. Is that a live version, M. Garrison? I'm guessing it's a live version. Well, it looks like it's going to be a 50-50 split. Rogues, that's Jungle Shore. Interesting. I'm going to come in and say that I would vote for The Wind's Whispering. I want to vote for I'm Fat, but I think being objective as I can about it, I'm going to vote for The Wind. The wind is whispering. Final Alarm versus Seconds. Seconds is fun. The recorded version is a bit noisy and a bit like kind of indecipherable for my liking. But live, they played it live, and it's like a minute long. It should have been called Minute because it's only a minute long. But it's such a tight little rocker. Jeaner gets to do like a schlocky AC/DC impression. Sorry, I said Jeaner gets to do that weird schlocky rock impression. And it's a great show from 1990. Okay. Haven't heard either. Whew. Yeah, you haven't heard Final. I can't recommend Final Alarm enough. Pretty much just about any version will do. It's a killer live track. They pretty much always kill it when they play it live. It's so epic. You think it's going to be instrumental, but then Claude comes in, and pretty much any version will do it. Public access version's great, but there's so many great live versions of it. Having a bit of a delay putting these polls up. Seconds is also on the set list. Whew. That's cool. Yeah, Seconds is a fun little rocker. It's both songs do their job. They serve their job in their live set perfectly, and you couldn't really ask for anything better in that regard. But I personally would say that Final Alarm just sweeps it. But I like Seconds a lot. But Final Alarm pretty much always kills it when they play it live. Yeah, it looks like Final Alarm's got 2-1. So, off topic, Flying V is electric with 7 strings. Huh. Electric with, so it's a 7-string. So it's an electric guitar with 7 strings. I remember you saying earlier it was like a violin. Is it like a Hofner type thing where it's like violin style, but it's in the shape of a flying V, but it also has 7 strings? What kind of crazy stuff are you watching? Yeah, okay. Alarm's winning, and I think it deserves to. It's like a Jared Dines joke video or something. Final Alarm wins. I'll Wait versus Albino Sunburned Girl. They played Albino Sunburned Girl when I saw them at the Fillmore at the end of 2021. A 7-string violin. Like, what is even the point? But Albino Sunburned Girl, it seems to be a big favorite, and I kind of get why. It's cool. I like it. It's cool. It's like a psychedelic. It's a cool psychedelic song. It's got a cool atmosphere to it. It's kind of doomy and gloomy, which I like. But it's I imagine a lot of people are going to vote for that one. And that's fair. It's not a bad song. I'll Wait really crept up on me the first time I listened to it. It kind of blew me away. And that was for the Mollusk sessions, right? Or whatever. It was like a demo. And it just sounds amazing to me. It's not like a super catchy song necessarily, but Jeter's voice on it is so sweet. But I get why. I mean, Albino Sunbird Girl is definitely more of like the jam, if that makes any sense. Never heard it, blew me away. Yeah, I like Albino Sunbird Girl, but I would probably go with I Wait personally. It's just such a unique song, but so is Albino Sunbird Girl. I'll Wait, visit one of their best. Yeah, Mike McLean, I adore I'll Wait. It really crept up on me. It's got such a nice sound to it, with like a nice arrangement with those like synth lines and stuff. But really what pushes over the top is Junior's voice. That being said, Albino Sunburned Girl's definitely winning this. Same for me. SHJKO. It was the same thing for me. They played it at the show I went to. It was really, their performance of it was really cool. I'll Wait is catchy. I love it. Kind of reminds me of Slow Down Boy. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, but it just doesn't really remind me of anything in general. It just feels like a totally unique thing. Mike McLean, maybe I will sometime. Maybe I will. I'm certainly not against the idea. So yeah, Albino Sunbird Girl wins. But I like both songs. Captain Fantasy Part 2 versus Oh My Little Country Cottage. Captain Fantasy 2, I like, and I guess you could include, I think I saw in some uploads, they credit the intro. A lot of people call it this, there's this composition called, there's this demo or whatever called A Tear for Eddie Part 2 or whatever, but I think that was technically a Pure Guava demo, as was Captain Fantasy Part 2, and technically they say that that was, that thing that they call A Tear for Eddie Part 2, that fans call it that, was before Captain Fantasy Part 2 and is actually part of that track. It's just like the intro to that track. I'm not sure how true that is. Fantasy Jam? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think it's a different thing. M. Garrison. But you know, I like that Captain Fantasy Part 2 is it's completely different from the first one. It's like a slow, grungy, bluesy jam song with some interesting kind of croony blues vocals over top. It's interesting and I like it. Well, see, tell me. Oh My Little Country Cottage, though, it's this short, little, hilarious, dark song that I really get a kick out of. I would probably vote for that one, but I will say, and that beginning part, whether or not it's a separate instrumental thing or if it's just considered the intro to Captain Fantasy Part 2, that thing is amazing. It's in a minor key. It's just an instrumental jam. Isn't real jammy. It feels like a proper composition, and it's really beautiful. It's in a minor key, which sounds like, you know, whatever, but I think it allows, unlike Tear for Eddie, which is really, it's E major, but he flirts with the minor, but it still is mostly major. But that beginning of that, if it's even part of Captain Fantasy Part 2, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's chilling, and it's super atmospheric. Probably way more atmospheric than the actual Tear for Eddie. But, you know, it's debatable if that even counts. And just in terms of the actual Captain Fantasy 2 Part 2 recording, I would definitely go for Cottage, and it looks like Cottage is winning. So it's probably the one most people have heard of. I definitely think it's fine. Gonna learn to play the flute and kill myself. It's so dark. The Rainbow, or Homo Rainbow, I guess it's officially just called The Rainbow, right? Is it, though? I always just call it Homo Rainbow. I think it's whatever. Versus Gladiola Heartbreaker. And, you know, I gotta be honest, another sort of spicy hot take for me. I don't really like Gladiola Heartbreaker. From what I understand, it's it's one of the more played songs from their early days, right? I remember, I think if you look on Brown Bass and stuff, that's one of the songs from their super early duo days. It's Homo Rainbow on Stubbs. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you, I'm Garrison. But yeah, Gladiator Heartbreaker, I was really underwhelmed by it because I'm like, oh, this is like, because I like you fine and stuff, but and that's all in the live version. That's probably just like better than the recorded version that's out there. But the Rainbow, or Homo Rainbow, whatever, I would just call it Homo Rainbow, but I'm saying the Rainbow because that's what it is on the screen. Those vocal harmonies are really nice, and it's, you can't deny it's just funny. It's funny, but I just mostly like it for the vocal harmonies. Those vocal harmonies send it over the top, I think. Yeah, Rainbow's definitely cleaning house, 100%. Yeah, I never really got Gladiator Heartbreaker. I'm sure it's fun. It just kind of feels like raw energy with no actual intent behind it. Like the songs on God, Ween, Satan, to me, just like crush it. Like Tick and You Fucked Up and all that. Those songs feel like really great songs, not just raw energy, but they're very energetic and in your face. Where'd the Cheese Go versus Put the Coke on My Dick? I'll tell you what I would vote for, but this is all right. This is certainly something. Cheese versus Coke. Coca-Cola, that is, of course. Cheese versus Coke. Wasn't seeing all comments change from top chat to live chat. Yeah, that's what I always have to do because they always just have it be on top chat. I wonder if there's like an option on YouTube to have it default to live chat because that's what I always prefer. Both of these are Claude vocals, right? No, Claude did not do vocals on Where the Cheese Go as far as I'm aware. He definitely did vocals on Put the Coke on My Dick though. And Put the Coke on My Dick, it has a fun riff. It's kind of fun, but it also I would say in terms of Where'd the Cheese Go, I would say I would include it as well. Okay. Wow, okay. Put the Coke on My Dick is like winning. I would probably go for Where'd the Cheese Go because it's so funny. And as a commercial, I'm not going to act like it's the best thing ever. It's not. Yeah, Mike McLean, I would include both versions of Where'd the Cheese Go. Yeah, he does like the over the phone vocals Claude does on All Request Live, which is really funny. So Put the Coke on My Dick is definitely cleaning house. It's fine. It's kind of funny and gross. It's kind of a disgusting song, but both versions of Where'd the Cheese Go are just funny. And as a commercial jingle, like Pizza Hut screwed up big time. Ween churned out like the perfect commercial jingle, and you can listen. There's other versions of Where'd the Cheese Go that they made before they kind of sort of settled on this one, before Pizza Hut just finally canned them. Cheese Go is better. What the moldy peaches gave Pizza Hut. Yeah, dude, if you listen to what they actually used, it sucks. It's like lame. I think Ween ended up making like it's a catchy, memorable ad jingle that gets everything. It's memorable and it's fun to like. Thank you, Dr. Scotty. You know all these lyrics of all these deep cuts. You're crazy, but I love you. I would vote for Where'd the Cheese Go, but I get why people are. Put the Coke on My Dick's definitely more of like a fleshed out song, but I would prefer Where'd the Cheese Go. It's fun to sing along with people. Where'd the cheese go? I don't know. It's fun to where'd the cheese go? I don't know. Anyway, Try to Be Brown versus Vinny the Eel. This is an interesting one because I remember when I first heard Try to Be Brown, it kind of blew me away. I'm like almost positive, right, that it's Where the Cheese Goes, the hidden track on the most recent Ween archived version of Caesar. I don't think I have a hidden track on recent archived version of Caesar. I've been listening to a lot of like the archived and remastered stuff that people have been putting out, like that Ween archived thing. That Ween archive channel is mind-blowingly awesome. But no, I have not heard that, M. Garrison. Try to Be Brown is like surprisingly cool in my opinion. And this is another tough one for me. I'm not sure what I would go. I don't know if I would go with Vinny or Try to Be Brown. But Try to Be Brown has a surprisingly cool groove to it, and it is indeed a super brown song. Vinny the Eel is certainly more of like a solid normal song by comparison. So I'm not sure which I would go for. We're still just on the first column, by the way. Ween Radio is awesome. Absolutely. So many people in the neighborhood with the Where'd the Cheese Go vocals. Huh. That's right. They did use it was the back it's I've heard that, M. Garrison. I've heard that version where it's like a weird alternate version. It's the backing track. It's the instrumental for So Many People, but they've got Where the Cheese Go over top. I've heard that. I didn't know that was like a hidden track on something. Both are great, but Vinny, that's fair. Try to Be Brown is a really unique, weird thing. And I think I like it because it's such a weird, unique experiment of a song that for me works out in the end. It's surprisingly funky. Like that rhythm is really good. And it's a surprisingly solid hook. Trying to be brown. See that boy, got the rhythm in him. See that boy, got the rhythm in it. It's a surprisingly like good hook. But Vinny the Eel is certainly the more normal, conventional song. It looks like it's going 50-50. Well, if it's 50-50, yeah, the remastered Caesar came out Thursday, maybe? Huh. How about that? I'm learning so much from you guys. You guys are crazy. I don't know anything. I'm such a knowledgeless buffoon. Looks like it's going to be 50-50, so I'm going to break the tie. Oh, this is tough. This is one of the toughest ones for me. I think Vinny the Eel's the better song. I'm gonna go with Try to Be Brown. It's a more unique song than Vinny the Eel. Vinny the Eel's good, and I feel like I probably should vote for it, but I'm gonna vote for Try to Be Brown. That's just what I'm feeling, That's just what I'm feeling. I Was Nothing versus Young Shaolin. Oh boy, I mean I definitely know what I would vote for, but let's hear from you all. What do you think? Songs, so that's better than me. Well, you guys are just like incredibly knowledgeable. If you just live for the music and just enjoy it on a raw level, whereas I've got that annoying sort of like analytical part of my brain that dissects it or whatever. Nothing. I was nothing. Now I'm something. Young Shaolin versus I Was Nothing. They're like completely different kinds of songs. I prefer the title of Young Shaolin, by the way, and I'm pretty sure that's like what the actual title is. It's just the generally accepted. You don't, Mike McLean, you have not heard Young Shaolin. It is absolutely fantastic. It's also known as Pass the Bong. And I prefer the title of Young Shaolin. I called it Pass the Bong in my video that I made of my favorite Ween Rarities. But if I knew that Young Shaolin was like an alternate title at the time, I would have called it that. It's a better title. But anyway, I Was Nothing is an absolutely fantastic song live. The recorded version is really rough and brown, but they played it when I saw them live, and it's such an energetic thing. It's a fun. It's Past the Bong. I've heard it called both versions. Anyway, so it's a fun song in that respect. It's really great live, and it's a lot of fun. It's fun to hear Diener just shout those vocals out. It's a fun song. The riff is fun, and it's a fun opportunity for, I think they both solo, but especially Diener, right? Young Shaolin, though, oh my goodness. And I've been working on a cover for that. I kind of canned it for the time being. Maybe I'll release it sometime. I think it kind of turned out cool, but just not as cool as I wanted it to, so maybe I'll release it. But Young Shaolin, absolutely fun. The ooh la, ooh la la la, ooh la. The ooh la las that you hear in there are great. It's a fun, pretty song. Feel so Ween unknowledgeable. I've never heard of these. Dude, Charles, do not. There's so many Ween Rarities. Do not feel unknowledgeable for not knowing like the vast majority of them, because there's way too many. This band, vote for Pass the Bong. It's good. Young Shaolin is / Pass the Bong is certainly good. And Close the poll. Okay, well it looks like Young Shaolin / Pass the Bong is going to win. I Was Nothing certainly fun though. And I would also vote for that. Why did it scroll up? Why did it... Oh! I wonder if I should... Oh, jeez. Well, that matchup thing isn't quite working. I'm gonna try this. That's what that does? Okay. No. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Well, this is kind of going off the rails. Okay, ignore... Good Lord. Oh, come on. I want to do it in this order. Okay, just ignore what's happening on my screen right now. Okay, I know it says that I picked Vallejo. Ignore that. Ignore that, because it doesn't want me to do it in this order, but I want to do it. I want to go to this column now. Ignore that it says Vallejo. We have Vallejo versus Coco. They both end with the same O sound. Transitions video. That would be a good one. I'm not opposed to it. I'll probably do it at some point. Do not get started. I started last year and I'm too deep already. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so it's Vallejo versus Coco. I know it looks like I voted that I chose Vallejo as the winner, but I did not mean to do that. So I'll start a poll now. And I'm sorry that it's not going to show the same graphic. I just wanted to change. I just wanted to do the other column from the other side of the tournament bracket now. Okay. Vallejo versus Coco. I know which I would vote for. Definitely know which one I would vote for. Vallejo, the recorded version of it, and I forget what it was released on. I think it was a B-side of something, or it was on the Voodoo Lady EP. If you guys know, tell me what Vallejo was on, because I don't remember. The recorded version of it's actually pretty cool, and it's like 3 minutes, and it's cool. When they play it live for 30 minutes, you know, I'm not a fan of that. They did play it when we saw them. When they play it and they keep it short, it's fun, but it's basically just a riff, and they don't even have the like weird spoken word lyrics when they do it live. And I'm not saying that would make it better or anything, but it was on the Voodoo Lady like EP. Okay. Tough choice. Coco is more fun. Yeah, Coco is a pleasant song. Vallejo's like this epic rocking thing, but it does sound like cooler. I agree, Homeless Man. But I also think it kind of overstays its welcome if it goes on for too long. But if it doesn't go on for too long, then it's cool. Like they did it. We go on a Norwegian cruise, but we don't go to Norway. That's a fun line. Paint the Town Brown. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Paint the Town Brown version. It's like, it doesn't need to be that long. And I get that, you know, it doesn't need to be that long. You're doing it and having fun. That's fine. But I don't know, man. It's not for me. Looks like Vallejo has won. I would definitely have gone for Coco. Coco's fun and whatnot. So I guess I don't have to change anything because I already voted for, unintentionally had Vallejo win that before anyone had the chance to vote. Sorry that we can't have this matchup thing pop up with the big graphic. We can, but it's going to do it in a different order than I want to. So now we're going to have the Stallion Part 5 versus Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire. Okay, Stallion Part 5 versus Cover It With Gas, Set It On Fire. I might have to make the write down. If you guys can actually see, I don't know how pixelated the stream is coming in for you guys. If you can actually tell what the names of the two songs that we're having up against each other are, even though they're smaller in the font than they were before when the big thing, let me know. At Chicago this year, I think we got an 8-minute Vallejo. Yeah, 8 minutes doesn't drive me crazy. I would still rather it be like a tight 3 to 4 minutes or even 5 minutes, but like, yeah, Vallejo's fun. Vallejo has its fun. Wow, everyone's voting for Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire. And you know what? I would probably go for that. Yeah, that seems fair. I like Stallion Part 5 quite a bit, but Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire is so much fun, especially and the weird kooky version that's on is it the Push the Little Daisies? Is that what it? No, it's on Sky Cruiser, right? The recorded version. That one's like funny and weird, but the it's so much fun on the All Request Live version. Like that's the version you got to hear. But there's also fun live versions, like on Paint the Town Brown. I think there's one, and at the Cat's Cradle, I believe there's one. It's a fun. Dr. Scotty Jones, what do you mean by which one is 5? Oh, you're saying of the Stallion parts. What does it sound like? Part 5 is the one that's like fast. You know, it has like sort of a galloping riff. Haha, get it? Because it's about a horse. Prepare the mounts, boy. Dun dun dun. Prepare the mount, boy. Dun 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 dun. Ba-na-na-na. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, so okay, yeah, Cover It With Gas, 100% of the vote. So it definitely wins this one. All right, Sunken Blood from the Devil's Dick versus Booze Me Up and Get Me High. What do you guys think? In terms of the recorded version that is on Craters of the Sack, I mean, Craters of the Sack sounds terrible. It really does. Like, it sounds worse than a lot of the demos. Not all the demos. There's definitely made demos that sound infinitely worse than it. But, like, holy crap, does Craters of the Sack sound bad. That being said, Sunken Blood from the Devil's Dick is fun. Is it on Push the Little Daisies? Okay, I thought it was on Sky Cruiser or whatever. Devil's Dick versus what's the other one? Booze. Both are C tier. Both of these are pretty mid. I think Booze Me Up and Get Me High is a lot of fun. And I've said this before, but my favorite thing about it is it's when they keep modulating up, you know. And the versions, you know, any live version will do, but I think the live in Chicago version is just too good. I think there is a demo. It's online, but it was never properly recorded intentionally for like it was, I think they said they never put it out on anything because they were never able to translate the live energy. But the demo's fine, but it's, you know, it is kind of a live song. Devil's Dick is really funny to me, especially when they sound like they're out of breath. Oh yeah, that's fun. I like the you know, the double time, the dynamics of Sunken Blood from the Devil's Dick, but it's and it's got a kind of a fun stompingness to it, but it is just kind of a dumb song. It's just kind of noisy and blah. But, you know, it's got its merit, I suppose. Ooh, we're 50%, 50-50. I would definitely say Booze Me Up and Get Me High is the better song, but it is also kind of, they're both similarly kind of repetitive, I guess, but Booze Me Up keeps modulating and Devil's Dick has the tempo changes. I would say Booze Me Up and Get Me High would get my vote, and I guess that's going to be the tiebreaker since it's 50-50. I'm going to say Booze Me Up and Get Me High gets my vote and therefore wins. All That's Gold Will Turn to Black versus She'll Just Get You. The opener, right? Yeah, the opener on Craters of the Sack versus one of the awesome White Pepper demos, She'll Just Get You. I view All That's Gold Will Turn to Black and The Pawns of War kind of as two halves of the same song because they're both kind of I'm Garrison. Nice. They're both kind of half songs where they're both like a minute and a half or whatever. And they're both basically just one idea. Like that riff in All Is Gold Will Turn to Black is really hype and really cool, for lack of a better term. It's really exciting. Black Sabbathy. I get more like I don't know what brand of metal I would say. Not necessarily. I kind of hear Sabbath in that one. But if I think if they should have sort of combined both of those songs, All This Gold Will Turn to Black and Pawns of War, into one more sort of epic song and flesh it out, you know. That being said, I have to go for She'll Just Get You. She'll Just Get You is so smooth and fun, and it doesn't even sound that bad, really. It's pretty, not super high fidelity, but it's got this nice warmth to it, and Jeter's so smooth, and the guitar work throughout that is really good. Got to go for that one. Such a tight groove. Yeah, She'll Just Get You is cleaning house, and I think it deserves to. All right, so this is for me. This is such a one-sided one. Who Dat versus You Can Go Shit in Your Hat, Matt. I feel like anyone who's ever had a friend named Matt, they've always had this, and I think most people do because it's a pretty common name. But you know, if you're like me and you're like you don't know anyone named Matt that you dislike, I know people named Matt and Matthew and stuff, but I like all of them as people, so I don't get much out of this song in terms of, you know, I don't like Matt, but just as a song, I'm not a fan. It's whatever. I was Who Dat versus Matt. Who Dat Matt? Who Matt Dat? Blech. Dr. Scotty Jones, yeah, they definitely get harder as they go along because it's going to get even more granular and really get tight between them. But for me, I got to say, this is a landslide. You Can Go Shit in Your Hat, Matt. Feel like it could have been a lot funnier and more fun. But Who Dat, I mean, it ranked really high on my list of rarities, and I stand by that. It is so unlike any other song. It's got this like kind of circus carnival music feel to it, but with a beautiful piano, and Jeter's vocal is so tender and genuine, and the lyrics are so dark. It sort of portrays so many complex emotions, that masking of those emotions. It's on White Pepper. How is it rare? It's not on White Pepper. It was a B-side to something. It was a B-side to something, but it was not actually on the album. It was not officially released in that regard. It is a B-side, and therefore it is rare, a rarity, so to speak. I don't know if there's another version of White Pepper that has it. If there is, I'd be interested to hear that. It would have made an already amazing album even better. Like, oh my God. Like, there's no real duds on White Pepper, but if Who Dat was on there, it would be even better. Yeah, Who Dat's definitely cleaning it. I adore Who Dat. Such a beautiful song. And it's definitely sorry, Matt. I'll Miss You versus That Man from the Flatland. Ooh, I like both of these. This is a tough one. Now it's starting to get tough. I'll Miss You versus That Man. Wasn't it released in the Japanese version? Maybe it was. Was there a Japanese version of White Pepper that with a different track list? I remember there's the alternate version of Quebec, but what is it doing? Anyway. All right, I'll Miss You versus That Man from the Flatland. You know, That Man from the Flatland has a cool, almost classic rock vibe to it. They're obviously channeling. It's very like Zeppelin-esque, except better if you ask me. But you know, it doesn't need to go on the record or anything. But I'll Miss You is really pretty. It's such a simple, nice, pleasant pop song. It's so hooky and tender and sweet. I've never seen the movie it's in. What is it called? Some Girls? Is that the name? But yeah, I absolutely love I Miss You. I'll Miss You. I would go for that. But That Man from the Flatland is certainly fun. It's got merit. It's great guitar work throughout. And it's got that sort of, you know, mysterious, mythical, classic rock sound to it, which is cool. It looks like That Man from the Flatland is winning. Okay, so That Man from the Flatland wins. I would definitely have voted for I'll Miss You. But It is not a bad song. It is a good song. DC Won't Do You No Good versus Beacon Light. Okay. It's funny, a friend of mine and we actually listened to the whole X-Files movie soundtrack front to back on a trip up. Actually, when we went to New Hope and stuff, we listened to it. And dude, I forgot how bad the rest of that soundtrack is. At least in my opinion. You know what would be fun is if I like did some sort of thing about that, or I like reviewed it or something. That would be a fun video. But Beacon Light, like, to me, I mean, even I wish I could review it or whatever as a non-Ween fan and just give my unbiased opinion. I confused it with I Still Love You. Okay. But to me, Beacon Light was just the clear highlight on that album. DC versus Beacon Light. Yeah, Beacon Light's a fantastic song. Awesome solo in the middle, and great. It sounds great, produced really well. It's hi-fi, high fidelity, and it's just a fun song with like fun, kind of kooky lyrics. I can't get enough of it, and I think it's so easily the best song on that soundtrack. DC Won't Do You No Good it's good. It's more sort of upbeat and catchy than I was expecting it to be. You never know what to expect when you hear a Ween song for the first time, demo or otherwise, you know. But strap on that jammy. So strap on that jammy pack, fuel it up, 'cause I'm gone. Yeah, my friend, when he heard them say that line, he was like, "Oh my God, he said the thing." Started clapping like it was a Marvel movie or whatever. It was funny. He has a real fondness for Strap on That Jammy Pack. But he actually said that Strap on That Jammy Pack was like one of the highlights on the pod, which made me laugh. Anyway, so 3 people are saying that Beacon Light is better than DC Won't Do You No Good. I agree. It's a better song. But DC Won't Do You No Good. It's a cool, interesting song because it's sort of unique in terms of the rest of their stuff. The Pawns of War versus She Caught My Fancy. I'm 100% going on She Caught My Fancy. But the Pawns of War is not bad. The Pawns of War, again, I think if they just fleshed it out and sort of combined it with All Is Gold Will Turn to Black, it could have been like an absolute masterpiece. Because they rarely do go sort of heavier, especially on recorded music. They don't usually go into full-on metal, and when they do, it's usually pretty cool. Because they can sound pretty heavy when they want. But I'm absolutely going with She Caught My Fancy. It's not the most revolutionary song ever, but it's just really nice and pleasant. Yeah, people are saying Fancy. Yeah, okay, it wins. Again, I'm trying not to cut people off too often, but it looks like it's a pretty secure, safe bet. All 4 people said She Caught My Fancy. But again, I want to hear your opinions on these. Potluck versus Loop De Loop. Oh, okay. This one's probably going to be pretty tough for me. Potluck versus Loop De Loop. One of their most beautiful songs. She Caught My Fancy is, yeah, Love. Says the poll is over it. Oh, yeah. I try to give as much time as I can while also like moving on to the point where I can sort of call out when people are going to bet on what. Potluck versus Loop-de-Loop. I'm very biased in the favor of Loop-de-Loop, but Potluck is a really nice little tune. I'm not sure which I would pick. You know what? I think I would have to go for Loop-de-Loop, but I'm biased. I think objectively as a song, there's probably a bit more to Potluck, but my heart, I have to go with my heart and say Loop-de-Loop personally. But Potluck is, it looks like Potluck's winning. Yeah, 3-2 in favor of Potluck. Oh, now it's, what is that? 4-2 in favor of Potluck. Yeah, looks like Potluck is winning. Really wouldn't consider Loop De Loop an actual song. No, it's a song. I mean, honest, that's what's funny about Loop De Loop is that it could go on one of their albums and it would fit. You know, it's almost like a They Might Be Giants type move where they put like a borderline child friendly educational song on their album. But Ween really isn't like They Might Be Giants at all. But that's just the closest comparison I can get. But just stylistically, it's not out of their wheelhouse at all. Nothing is. Um, Potluck, yeah, it's good. Potluck is a nice little tune, is what it is. Yeah, Loop De Loop is nostalgic, but I also do think it's it was such a cool reveal to me when I really set in. Like, oh my god, I've been listening to that song. I've been listening to Ween and Aaron sing to me since I was a child and I didn't even realize it. It's so cool. Uvala versus the Belvedine. Belvedine? He says Belvedine, right, in the song? I might be misremembering, but I seem to remember he says both pronunciations, actually, which is pretty funny. But it's Uvala versus the Belvedine. Now, for Uvala, I would consider, if you prefer the Caesar version, you can consider that the version that it is going up against the Belvedine, or Belvedine. But I prefer the what's it called? There's no really a name for it. Just the more electronic influenced, somewhat reggae influenced, just more electronic influenced one with the drum machine. I vastly prefer that version of Uvala, and I absolutely adore that. So, whichever version you prefer. Uvala versus Belvedine. Oh, the Belvedine. No, he says Belvedine. Yeah, he says Belvedine, right? Or Belvedine. No, it's Belvedine. Even though when I see it, I want to say Belvedine. It just sort of seems right. Yeah, I agree, Homeless Man. The Belvedine, I want to vote for the Belvedine, but I do think Uvala is the much better song. But the Belvedine is so unique, and it's perfect for, well, not right now because it's over. Halloween has ended, but it's like perfect for the spooky season. Like you could very easily put that in and it's got like goofy, weird lyrics. It's the best rock song ever written about a spooky hotel. Yeah, I said it. Fight me. But it could totally fit in a haunted house spooky playlist. A very unique song, and I like it a lot. And that main guitar hook, dun, dun, na 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 na, it's memorable and cool. If I saw him play it live, I would probably freak out. Be like, oh my god. But I gotta go with Uvala, especially that electronic version. Honestly, if it was the hard rock version, I would probably vote for Belvedine over it. But yeah, Uvala. Maybe the resonance is a bit similar. Uvala wins. It's going to get brutal when we get to the other stuff. Brittany versus Wash Me Down. Ooh, boy. I like Brittany. I did a lesson on it you can check out. But, I mean, you can't beat Wash Me Down. Everyone loves Wash Me Down. I don't know a thing. My friend, when I did that video of my favorite Ween rarities, which again is totally subject to change, there's a bunch of stuff on that list that I'll probably change now, but everyone loves Wash Me Down. And he probably their best demo. Yeah, it is, if nothing else, a contender. Which is saying Britney's a good song, but it's just nowhere near as good. We got to vote for Britney. It's not a bad song, and "Wash Me Down" is not a complicated song. It's the most simple song ever, but it just sounds so beautiful. But when he took all 23 songs that I talked about in that video. It was my top 20 with 3 honorable mentions, and he said, "So I listened to all those songs, and I was like, wow, that's crazy." No one told you had to listen to all those songs, but I did recommend them all, so I guess that's on me. But he's like, yeah, I listened to every single one of those, and I liked 2 of them. just totally roasted me, if nothing. But yeah. Wash Me Down is on LBI. LBI. Oh, the long. Yeah, it's on the Long Beach Island tape. Yeah, Wash Me Down's more votes for Britney than I thought, though. Didn't completely clean house, but it definitely won. The two songs he said he liked were "Now I'm Freaking Out," which was I thought was kind of random, and "Wash Me Down." So everyone loves Wash Me Down, and for good reason. It's amazing. Things You Already Know versus The Stallion Part 4. I liked Stallion Part 4 a lot, but I would, upon listening back to it, I would probably go for Things You Already Know. It's a good song. Long Beach Island tape is fire. That is one of their absolute sets of demos ever. What an amazing collection of songs. I haven't seen the video yet. Oh, that video. The video I'm talking about. Yeah, the my favorite rarities. Again, and just reminder that that list is subject to change or whatever. Things You Already Know is so good. It is very good. It's better than I remember it being. Things You Already Know is a top 2 Ween song, and it ain't number 2. Ooh, nice. Even with Put Your Boobs On. You know, I kind of like that song. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. If they fleshed it out just a little bit more, that probably could have made a good, like, really good sort of dance track. But it's so dumb, though. Everyone's voting for Things You Already Know. It cleans house. Okay. And there's a cover. They did that on that in tribute to that Grant Roseman, the guy, the Boognish Monster guy. They did that Mutilated Hits. They did that awesome tribute to Ween where they did a bunch of covers, and they did a cover of Put Your Boobs On. Oh, that's coming up soon. I didn't even realize that. Think you already know. Wins. Okay, now it's Leave Diener Alone versus Little Miss Mandy. But they did it. Someone did a cover, Put Your Boobs On, and it's really funny. It's really funny because it literally sounds nothing like it. I don't even think I think the lyrics are totally new, and it's really unique and it's funny. It's also kind of like legitimately good. Okay. Leave Diener Alone versus Little Miss Mandy. I know for sure which one I'm voting for. Which one I will vote for if it's a 50-50, that is. Mandy? Right? Is that how it's spelled? I don't remember. You'll know which one it is. All right. Leave Diener Alone versus Little Miss Mandy. Leave Diener Alone. I've done a lesson for that one. I'm going to point out every single one that I've done a lesson for, which isn't really that many of them in the grand scheme of things, but I've done a lesson for it. Check it out. It's a fun rocker. Honestly, I think it and My Own Bare Hands are pretty comparable in terms of quality, but there's lots of... They are extremely similar, so it makes sense why they only put one of them on the album. Little Miss Mandy is awesome. So good. The groove is so good. It was about a cat. Yeah, it was about their cat, which they mentioned in Mononucleosis, which I did a cover of. I think I'm going to try to cover every Ween song ever. Yeah, dude. I definitely want to... I've been covering Ween songs, and it's fun. It's hard to put... You haven't heard either of these songs. You haven't heard Little Miss Mandy or Leave Diener Alone. Absolutely check out Little Miss Mandy. So funky and cool. It's kind of funny because it's about their cat. Like, the lyrics are funny, but it's a really good song. It's fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. Looks like Little Miss Mandy is going to win. Leave Diener Alone is certainly it's fun, but don't even know how to try to play ones like I Like You. Huh. I guess I haven't done a lesson on that one. I did do a cover of I Like You, which I like. Yeah. I like that cover, yeah. Yeah, okay. Little Miss Mandy wins. Put Your Boobs On versus I've Got No Dark Side. I just realized how funny this matchup is. Boobs versus Dark Side. I love typing these up. One word, like it's Dark Side of the Force. Put your boobs on. Again, I think it's dumb fun, but I've Got No Dark Side's definitely the better song. It's a lot of fun. It's not as fun as Put Your Boobs On, but it's I could see how someone thinks it kind of goes on a little too long, maybe overstays its welcome. Both of these are fine. I can understand that. I think I Got No Dark Side's really, really good. It's not the most complex song in the world, but it's got a great atmosphere and a great vibe to it. I definitely think Dark Side's the better song, and it's definitely dominating the poll. So I've Got No Dark Side wins. All right, the Wolfman versus... Okay, it says Argus. That is the Argus Part 2 is what it often gets called on YouTube. So I'm going to type Argus as well when I put it in the poll. But, so fine. Yeah, like old school funk. Most fun song in my set. Yeah, Mike McLean. It's a fun song. I'm sure you had fun covering it. And I noticed you also played some other songs that I saw. I was never a fan of their country songs. Okay. But now we are off to The Wolfman and Argus Part 2, but I'll just call it Argus. The reason it's not called Argus Part 2 is because I think they just called the demo Argus. So technically this Argus, the Argus that we call Argus Part 2, came first, and then they kind of dropped it and then just made the Argus. So the actual Argus that's on Quebec you could call like Argus 2 or Argus Part 2 or whatever. But what an absolutely incredible song. The Wolfman is way better than I remember it being. I love how it has like a sinister vibe to it, and the lyrics are, kind of quirky, but also really interesting. And the chord changes in the chorus are interesting. Like the Wolfman's a lot better than I remember it being. I remember it being kind of annoying or whatever, but no, it's a really good one. Argus, again, this is like Argus Part 2, technically is what people call it online, but it's really, and I call it that too. I call it Argus Part 2, but it is technically the first Argus demo. I've got to go with the Argus. It's so Argus Part 2. One of my favorite Ween rarities. Gene adds so much soul, even though his vocals are pitched down. His voice still conveys a lot of emotion and a lot of tenderness. Is I Still Love You in this bracket? No, it is not, Homeless Man. I tried to include as many songs as I could without making the bracket super huge, because I think the only other option, like if I wanted to add more songs, I would literally need to double the size of this bracket. And this bracket's already pretty big. So I tried to include as many as I could. So yeah, Argus Part 2 wins over the Wolfman. But I gotta say, I was really surprised by how much better the Wolfman is than I remember. It's a really good song, a genuinely really good song. And they probably should have included it and, sort of finished it and included it on La Cucaracha. Ode to Renee. Okay. Oh boy, this is going to be a landslide. Ode to Renee versus Kim Smoltz. This is the one that you've all been waiting for. This is the one that you've all been waiting for. I've kind of been waiting for it as well. Just because it's like, come on, man. Renee versus Smoltz. I think it's funny that it's called Kim Smoltz. I guess that's just like the character who is being sung about, wow, someone actually voted for oh wow, 2 people. This is 50-50. This is kind of blowing my mind. I was just expecting it to get absolutely dominated by Kim Smoltz. This is the most difficult decision I'm making in my life. Both are overrated, to be honest, Homeless Man. I somewhat agree with you. I think Kim Smoltz is an extreme. I would pick Kim Smoltz definitely over. Ode to Renee's fun. Wow. It has more votes. Wow. This is kind of taking a giant turn. Wow. Ode to Renee, I like it. I especially love the ending, especially live. It always makes me laugh. And musically, it's really nice, if a bit stereotypical intentionally. I agree, M. Garrison. I think I like Coco more than Kim Smoltz. But you know what? And I said this in my video. I said this in my favorite Rarities video. I really like Kim Smoltz. Kim Smoltz is a great song. I don't think it's like the Ween Rarity. But I think it's more of a testament to how great they are. Wow. I can't believe Ode to Renee is winning. That's true, M. Garrison. Yeah. I play Kim. Crowd favorite. Not one of my favorites. It's a good song. It's a really good song, but it's not one of my absolute favorites. But, well, actually it kind of is because it was in my top 20 rarities. So it is literally one of my favorites. I like it a lot. It's on the lower half of my list of favorites, but it is still technically on that list of favorites for me. So I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting Kim Smoltz to clean house. And Ode to Renee is good. But I do I'm shocked by this. I do prefer Kim Smoltz. But it looks like this is the biggest shock of the night. I was expecting everyone, because that's like one of the few Ween rarities with over 1 million views on YouTube. That's insane, I wonder if I should use matchup mode, because I'm going to do this side again. It's too much work. It'll just annoy me again when it redoes it. So now we're getting into the next round. Finally, we're up to the next round. So Long Jerry versus Be My Wife. What are y'all thinking? So Long Jerry. Already it's getting incredibly tough. The second round is already going to be incredibly tough. I'm not even sure which one I would vote for. I guess I would have to vote for So Long Jerry, but Be My Wife is to die for. I probably would have put it a lot higher on my list of Ween rarities than I did. I don't even think it was. I think it was in like the bottom 3, or it might have even been an honorable mention, one of those. But I think I would have to go with So Long Jerry at the end of the day. But man, Be My Wife is so good. So Long Jerry is just so atmospheric and so lush. It's so relaxing. It's so heartfelt. It's everything. Be My Wife is a lot of those things too, but I think I would have to go with So Long Jerry. Yep, and it looks like it's winning. M. Garrison, yeah, Mike McLean Music. He does. He's done a lot of Ween covers, and he uploaded a lot of them to YouTube. I don't know the specifics of it. He actually invited me, I think, to play alongside him in play Ween songs and stuff, but I just can't. We're like too far away from each other. It's a shame because he does a lot of good stuff. Yep. It's a shame. On one hand, it's a shame that Be My Wife had to get kind of destroyed in comparison, but So Long Jerry really is a great song. Puerto Rican Power versus Long Beach Island. I can't sing it right now. My voice is kind of suffering. Puerto Rican Power versus Long Beach Island. What are y'all thinking? So, again, I gotta go with Long Beach Island. I think Long Beach Island absolutely taps into that it kind of sounds childish and simple. That's why it would have fit right on the mollusk, even though I think it was maybe recorded after that, because they did it. It's on the Long Beach Island tape. I like Long Beach Island just more. Puerto Rican Power is fun, but Long Beach Island, I think, taps into that. It has that sort of innocence and whimsicalness to it, but it's also emotional, which is what I think a lot of the Mollusk as an album taps into. Yeah, it looks like Long Beach Island's winning it by about one vote. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Long Beach Island wins. I want to give enough time so that everyone votes, but at the same time, I do kind of have to keep a move on, so to speak. Long Beach Island wins. Now we got Now I'm Freaking Out versus Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. Freaking crying. That's what the poll says. Freaking crying. Stop freaking crying, man. About this girl named Nan. Now I'm Freaking Out or Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. I would, and it's funny, I don't think I included Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying on my list of favorites, but I would definitely include it now because honestly, I do think it is a better song than Now I'm Freaking Out. Now I'm Freaking Out certainly fun, but Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying is really, it really is a sweet tune. Yeah, Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying is definitely winning. See now that we've got the first round done, it's starting to move a lot quicker, which I'm thankful for. I'm having a good time. I don't know about you guys. Sweet Texas Fire versus Eulogy for David Anderson. Yeah, I mean, y'all probably know which one I'm voting for. Now I'm freaking crying, Charles. Yeah, it's funny how naming these is surprisingly fun. But now we got... gotta make this poll. This is a landslide for me. Almost every single vote, almost every single one with David Anderson is gonna be a bit of a landslide for me. We've got a 50% split so far. Ooh, Sweet Texas Fire in the lead. You're the only one who can keep you from having a good time. You're really good at remembering these lines, Dr. Scotty Jones, but you're even better at pointing out the really good lines. Because that is a really good time. That is a really good line. Oh my goodness. Sweet Texas Fire is in the lead. Oh my God, Sweet Texas Fire is going to win. Oh my God. Is it just me or is it not the world's most amazing song? It's fine. It's definitely not better than Eulogy for David Anderson. You guys are crazy. Come on. I was expecting it to get towards the end. This is one of my absolute all-time favorites. Sweet Texas Fire is fine. Oh my God. It's not even gonna get a tie. I guess everyone who's gonna vote has already voted. Oh man. It's just better? You think it's just better? Oh my goodness gravy. Wait a minute, it looks like we lost one vote. It's weird, the poll's fluctuating. It's a bit weird. This is a little weird. You don't know Eulogy? Oh man, you gotta listen to it. It's amazing. Fantastic, one of the best. But, well, we've got... Okay, yes, I agree. SHGKO. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I don't want to butcher it. But Eulogy is incredibly depressing. It's not something you're always going to be in the mood to listen to, but I just think it's a much better song. But hey, I'm glad that you all are giving your opinion. So Sweet Texas Fire wins, which kind of blows me away, but that's how it works. It's winning. Sweet Texas Fire moves on. The Wind is Whispering, aka just The Wind, versus Final Alarm. This is an easy one for me. I'm going Final Alarm. Wait a minute. The Wind. Okay. I have to keep checking what the songs are because I'm an idiot. The wind is whispering and time is laughing by. Yeah, I'm definitely going Final Alarm. We got to vote for Final Alarm. 3 votes. Ooh, looks like it's going to clean house. Wind is Whispering is nice and atmospheric, but not much structure. Not super catchy. I guess it is kind of catchy in a weird way, but I like the atmosphere of it and stuff. Final Alarm is just like awesome though. Looks like it's going to win. Yeah, looks like Wind is Whispering is not gonna make it. But hey, you know, I think it deserves to be said that if a song has made it this far, then that's certainly not a slight against it. Because these songs are absolutely great, you know, for the most part. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm in love with all of them. Joe Cannoli, anyone? Most people didn't even know that one. I didn't really know it until fairly recently, and I was kind of like, oh, this is a song. But yeah, okay. Final Alarm wins. Albino Sunburned Girl versus Oh My Little Country Cottage. I would, you know, I feel like I'm going to be the minority here, but I would go with Cottage. Oh. Albino Sunburned Girl versus Oh My Little Country Cottage. I would go with Oh My Little Country Cottage, but I like, you know, I'm thinking back, I do like Albino Sunburned Girl a lot. I really do. It's a cool song with an interesting, cool riff and some atmosphere to it. I love messing around with that main riff on guitar. Um, it's not a bad song at all. I just prefer a lot of others. Oh My Little Country Cottage. It has that awesome lyric. I'm going to learn to play the flute and kill myself. And I forget what the other lyric is, but something about he eats a sandwich and it tastes awful or something. I forget, but and it's a nice little jaunty tune. The flute solo right after he says that line is just to die for. No pun intended. I actually did not mean to intend that pun. Okay, we got 3-2 for Oh My Little Country Cottage. I'm going to say that nets it a win. Wait a minute, really? I'm just surprised. I thought Albino Sunburned Girl was going to win in a landslide. That's kind of shocking. Huh. Okay. Again, I'm trying to give enough time for everyone to vote, but I also got to move on. The Rainbow, aka Homo Rainbow. I just call it Homo Rainbow. Homo Rainbow versus Put the Coke on My Dick. I'm definitely going Homo Rainbow. Those vocal harmonies, this can't be happening. I agree. There's some pretty crazy stuff happening. Again, I even though I would vote for My Little Country Cottage, I'm surprised that Albino Sunburned Girl is winning. You know, Homo Rainbow versus Put the Coke on My Dick. Homo versus Coke. Homo versus Dick. Yeah, I'm definitely going Homo Rainbow. Those vocal harmonies are really they make the song. Put the Coke on My Dick. Fun riff, and funny, over the top vocals. But I'm not gonna lie, it kind of I do find something about it a bit grating, you know. But it's fun that Claude can eat my little sandwich and taste like crap. Yes, that's the line. Thank you, Charles. That's a great line. I don't know if there's some sort of delay with the chat and what I'm streaming, but I'm trying to keep up with you guys. You guys are too good. Ooh, we got a 50-50 split so far. Oh, we got another. We're going to vote for Homo Rainbow. That's probably going to be, that's going to set it in stone probably. Homo Rainbow with a 1-vote lead. 3-2. I think that's a safe bet that it wins. Against Put the Coke on My Dick. Put the Coke on My Dick. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Try to Be Brown versus Young Shaolin. What an interesting matchup. Vinny the Eel versus Young Shaolin also would have been a good matchup. Yes, Homo Rainbow has a really good melody. That's part of what makes the song funny. Brown versus Young Shaolin. As much as I like Try to Be Brown, and I love how unique it is, Young Shaolin's also a really unique song. And those ooh-la-las and stuff, and that progression, and that bass line. Oh my god, I don't know, I haven't mentioned it. The bass line in Try to Be Brown, it's not much of a bass line, it's more like a rhythm, if anything, just like part of the beat, but the bass line in Young Shaolin is absolutely fantastic. And that guitar solo, oh my goodness, it sounds so good. I would definitely go for Young Shaolin as my vote. Looks like Young Shaolin's gonna win. I think with Try to Be Brown, it was like a tie between Try to Be Brown and Vinny the Eel, and I was the tiebreaker. I feel like in most circumstances, I'm just surprised it didn't win, honestly. All right, looks like Young Shaolin wins against Try to Be Brown. Not very surprising, but hey, both surprisingly good songs, you know. Okay, now we're gonna go to the other column. It's kind of getting to, well, it's kind of getting towards the end, you know. It was really just the first round of any tournament bracket. That's generally how it is. The first round takes forever compared to the rest. Vallejo versus Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire. I don't know if there's... Guys, let me know if there's a... Sounds like you said Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown's great. I did not get to watch The Great Pumpkin this year because ever since they've had it exclusively on Apple TV, I haven't been able to watch it, which really makes me mad because I love Charlie Brown and I love The Great Pumpkin and the Charlie Brown Christmas. But you can't watch them unless you have stupid Apple TV. So that sucks. They used to just be on TV. Everyone could just get around and watch them. Yeah, Vallejo versus Cover. You know, honestly, I think both songs have a similar amount of like content in them. Not content. I hate to describe it like that because it makes it sound like soulless YouTuber talk. There's more content in this. It makes it sound kind of soulless, but I think they both have the same amount of like stuff going on in them, but they just tend to drag Vallejo out way longer. Cover With Gas and Set On Fire is just like a fun short jam. You know, it's a banger. F Apple. Yeah. Dr. Scotty Jones, absolutely. I guess now that there's people here, I kind of mentioned this towards the beginning of the stream, and I would like to, yeah, Charles, I mean, but it's about the tradition of watching it, you know, with your friends and loved ones and just getting around the TV and watching it. It's such a cozy thing. And you gotta, Apple owns the rights to that feeling. They own the rights to that sensation of family and togetherness, which is funny to think about. But I guess Cover It With Gas and Set On Fire wins. I would like to apologize once again for the beginning of the stream. It was so much. The beginning of the stream was so much worse than the last one, if you can believe it. Even though I messed up way more on that one, because I just started too early. I told people it was going to start at like 6, and I should have waited to go live. I really should have. Booze Me Up and Get Me High versus She'll Just Get You. This is a bit of a tough one. She'll Just Get You. And, you know, while there's actual people here, have any of you heard that quote-unquote the last Beatles song, the Now and Then? I listened to it earlier and I saw the video and stuff and saw the materials and stuff, and it was decent, you know. I think thinking of it as the last Beatles song is more so just marketing than anything else, you know. Because if you know, the funny thing, and I don't hear anyone else sort of use this way to describe it, but if you're like, oh, well, this is the last Beatles song, it's like, well, not really, you know, not really if you think about it. Because if you use that logic, then you realize that the last Beatles song between 1996 and 2023, the last Beatles song would have been Real Love, which is like, and I like Real Love. I actually think it's a good song, but it's not like no one talks about Real Love as if it's the last Beatles song, you know? But it kind of, if you're going to use the logic that they're using of like, well, this is technically the last Beatles song because it's the last one we're officially releasing that has all of the it has all the stuff, it has all the members contributing parts. Um, it's the same logic, but I just figured I'd talk about that for a bit. But it's a good song, you know. It's they slathered it in so much production, which is, you know, they didn't want to not do that. But I just view it more as like an experiment than like the last Beatles song because, you know, Abbey Road was their last statement, even though technically, obviously, you could say that's not to a degree. It looks like Booze Me Up is winning. Yeah, Booze Me Up wins. I would probably go, you know, honestly, I had Booze Me Up on my list. I didn't even have She'll Get You, I don't think, on my list of favorite rarities, but I think She'll Just Get You is probably a tighter song. But Booze Me Up and Get Me High's got a great energy to it. So maybe I would still vote for that one. But anyway, Booze Me Up wins. But anyway, yeah. Who Dat versus That Man from the Flatland. I know which one I'm voting for. To me, it's just kind of you know, Abbey Road was the last statement from the band. It wasn't the last release, but it was really the last thing that they all came together and made a statement as a band. As far as they knew, it was the last thing. They went out on a high note. They made the best album ever to ever be made and recorded is Abbey Road, in my opinion, and that's how they ended it. That was our last artistic statement. And I'm glad that we have Let It Be. I'm glad that we have all these other songs, you know, because they're great songs. I'm glad we have them. But to say that like Now and Then is, you know, the last Beatles statement, no, it's just kind of marketing. And I feel like most Beatles fans know that anyway. So kind of preaching to the choir. I'm a little shocked Vallejo got trampled by gas. Whether it's the live version, the studio version of Vallejo. Yeah. Vallejo is not without merit. Vallejo is not a bad song. It's just I think they kind of overdo it, especially live. But we are starting to get into the more nitty gritty stuff of when stuff starts to get a lot more tight between them. Wow, That Man from the Flatland is winning. We take a Norwegian cruise, but we don't go to Norway. It's a great line. Wow, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of saddened by this. Um, 1 second. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a technical snafu there. I might have to. I'll probably come back to this in like give me like 1 minute. I'll go get something, but I'll come back. Um, I'm kind of I'm kind of I'm kind of saddened that Who Dat wins. That does not win. But again, we're getting into the point where the songs are all really good, so it's not a huge loss. Ooh, now it's 50-50. Oh boy. Well, now that it's 50-50. Well, now if I guess I should probably end it now. I don't think we've had 8 votes for anything yet, but so this is probably the most votes that we got for anything yet. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna throw in my vote because it's a 50-50 that Who Dat wins. So I feel kind of bad that all the people in a different mood, I would pick a different song on some of these. Absolutely, Scotty Jones. It's totally dependent on mood. So I'm gonna say that's a 50-50 for both. So I'm going to contribute my opinion, and therefore Who Dat wins. And before I get to this, I'll be right back. It's literally going to be like 1 minute, and then I'll be right back. So don't go nowhere. I'll be right back in literally like 60 seconds, hopefully. Still here? Anyone still here? I'm back, baby. Sorry about having to get a little gap there. So if y'all are still with me, just let me know. I want everyone to be present for the vote. Some of these songs I have to look up because I forget the details. It's just such an overwhelming amount of unreleased stuff. Yes. There's so many. It's kind of staggering. But a lot of them are really good. I mean, some absolutely incredible songs. There's just so many of them. I think it makes them kind of unique, for just a band in general. Not a lot of bands have this much unreleased stuff and just so many songs. Charles, thank you, everyone here. All right, so we'll just continue. Sorry about that brief pause, but now we got Beacon Light versus She Caught My Fancy. This is where things are starting to get a bit more intense. Illian, partner. Collery, thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you all for being here. Was it Beacon Light versus She Caught My Fancy? Okay, votes for Fancy. I'm definitely going to have to... I don't know how high I ranked it on my list. She Caught My Fancy, but I'm definitely going to have to say that Beacon Light's the better song. Such a fun rocker. And the fact that it's so well produced is a big part of it, but I do think it's a really good song with fun, eccentric lyrics and just a fun overall vibe. They really captured that, like, people in the sky. The people all danced with their big long arms and a peach in their pants. They're really good at making lyrics like that. It sort of evokes that like sci-fi alien theme, but also like sort of a weird hippie flower power vibe to it as well. It's a bit psychedelic, but it's also hard rock. They do that. They give it kind of a weird alien vibe without ever explicitly mentioning aliens, which is fun. It's a great song, but She Caught My Fancy is still good, but I prefer Beacon Light. This is where it gets to the point where it's like there's almost no examples left of like, okay, this is a good song, this is a bad song. There's like no examples of that left from here on out. This is like good songs and better songs from here on out. Beacon Light. Looks like Beacon Light is in the lead with 1 vote. We're getting towards the end of this list, ultimately. I'm going to say that clinches it, and that Beacon Light wins over She Caught My Fancy. But hey, She Caught My Fancy, still a good song. I won't have to say that from now on, because it's like, you guys get it. Okay, we get the Potluck and Ooh Va La are both good songs. You don't have to remind us. That being said, it is Potluck versus Ooh Va La. And again, you can choose which either version of Ooh Va La you prefer. Ooh. I love writing these up. Ooh. Duh. Fancy's a lot better. That's fair. Fancy has the most relaxed feeling ever. It really does. They have a lot of songs like that where they feel just effortless and cool. Potluck versus Ooh Va La. I'm going to go with Ooh Va La. Again, my preferred version is the more electronic, more reggae influenced version. The hard rock Caesar demo version, still good, but I just prefer that version. But Potluck is a fine little ditty. It's a good little ditty. It's a good song. But Ooh Va La, I love. So good, so tight. And some great vocal harmonies on the recorded version of that. Ooh Va La looks like it has a 1-vote lead. Unless someone else comes in and votes. Ooh, now it's 50-50. Potluck, Caesar version's your favorite. I mean, I get why. The first time I heard it, it was my favorite between the two. As I listened to it more, I'm like, You know, it's the hard rock version's cool, but I think the other version is tighter. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're both good songs. You know, the same song just with a different stylistic approach. All right, so that's 50-50 for Potluck and Uvala. And I hate to do Potluck dirty like this, but I will have to say that I prefer Uvala, so it is going to move on. But Potluck, nice little ditty. Wash Me Down versus Things You Already Know. I think Wash Me Down is the closest we've got. I thought that Kim Smoltz was going to be like the killer, where everyone was just, it was like when we did Buckingham Green and the the ranking video, the tier list video, and everyone, it was like the one song that everyone agreed was Triple S. I thought that was going to be Kim Smoltz, but it turned out to be like the exact opposite. Because you guys are hardcore fans like me. We were like, I hate the most popular song. Obviously, I'm joking. Kim Smoltz is great. Wash Me Down is a kind of filling that void, kind of serving as that role. It seems everyone loves that song. Versus Things You Already Know. Rest in peace. My poor Caesar songs are losing. Well, don't make it personal. Don't make it look like I'm taking a dump all over your precious Caesar songs, man. I love these songs too. We all love these songs. I am kind of upset that Kim Smoltz lost to Ode to Renee. But Wash Me Down versus Things You Already Know. And let me tell you, Things You Already Know is an incredibly good song, and it's a shame. Well, another thing is, like, it has a bit more to it, a bit more structure-wise than Wash Me Down. Wow. Oh, my God. Things You Already Know is winning. Oh, my God. Wow. This is taking a turn I wasn't expecting at all. Wow. Wash Me Down definitely is a lot more sparse, you know? Yeah, but it's just so effective that in spite of its simplicity, or maybe it's because of its simplicity partially. Wow, 1-6. This is a landslide. People love Things You Already Know. I think Things You Already Know is a really good song, but like, geez, people, oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I guess I gotta call it now. Wash Me Down loses, which, oh my God, not even like a 50-50. Wow. People who love Things You Already Know, I guess you don't have to really defend it. You know, they're both great songs, but like, this is pretty crazy. I was expecting Wash Me Down to make it like to the semifinals, but Things You Already Know, good song. Let's not have too much animosity here. Let's not. That's the whole point of this. It's just for fun, right? Just these weird matchups for these weird songs. Little Miss Mandy versus I've Got No Dark Side. A cat versus Darth Vader. See what I did there? It's sort of a weird pun, but you see what I did there? Get it? Because dark side of the Force, like Darth Vader uses, and Little Miss Mandy's named after a cat, so you can kind of see what if I should have just named the poll that, and no one would understand what they're be like, what? Cat versus Darth Vader. Love Wash Me Down, but nothing is beating Things for me personally. People just love that song. I like that song too. I was just expecting Wash Me Down to win, you know. It was more so in expectations. I gotta say, I like I Got No Dark Side a lot. The second hardest decision you've made in your life. What's the hardest decision you've ever made in your life, Charles? Little Miss Mandy, I think I would go with Little Miss Mandy. It's a tighter song, but I've Got No Dark Side's a really great song as well. This is again, I've said it before, but this is where it gets really granular and really minute in terms of the details of which song is better than the other. They're all great songs from here on out. But it looks like Dark Side's winning, and that's absolutely understandable. So, Darth Vader has sliced the cat in half. That's such a stupid thing. Why did I come up with that? It's so stupid. Oh boy. All right. I know which one I'm voting for. The Argus Part 2, or the Argus prequel. It's kind of a prequel. It's like the Hobbit to the Argus on Quebec's Lord of the Rings or Fellowship. Argus Part 2 versus Ode to Renee. Well, since Ode to Renee was apparently just, infinitely better than Kim Smoltz, let's see what you guys think. I like Ode to Renee though. It's been really hard from the beginning. You know what? That's true. Like there have been some tough matchups from the beginning. This band just has that many really amazing songs that haven't even been released. What a testament to their craft. Never to really be released. I mean, Shinola was kind of a one-off, kind of an oddity, if anything. There's no like pod outtakes or demos left, are there? Because it was really just Try to Be Brown and I Was Nothing. I think that was it. I was going to include Chairman of My Destiny, but I don't think I had room, really. And I don't remember how that song goes now that I'm thinking about it. But it's probably good. But, Okay, looks like we have an exact 50-50 split. I mean, to me, there's a clear winner here. I think Argus Part 2 is one of the best rarities. And Ode to Renee, you guys really love Ode to Renee. And I've always liked it. I'm just surprised that it's coming through as like a fan favorite, as proven by this stream. It's been really hard. Hardest decision was Kim Smoltz and Renee. It's like choosing a favorite child. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a that's to me that's a fair decision. Like between Kim Smoltz and Renee, that's kind of a tough decision. I would still pick Kim Smoltz though. This to me is just like a landslide. But it's a 50-50 split, which means me opinion have to come in and me say Argus Part 2 is a good. It's a more gooderer than Ode to Renee. They're both good, but Argus is more gooderer. Okay, we're kind of getting near the end because there's really not that many left. There's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's not even that many. I'm not even sure. It's not even that many. What am I thinking? It's somewhere around there actually. Okay. Oh man, this is where it gets really tough. This is where like if it gets 50-50, I'm not even sure what my opinion's going to be. So Long Jerry versus Long Beach Island. For the poll, I could just type in long for both of them so that you guys don't know which one you're voting for. But I'm not going to do that. Long Beach Island. Oh man, this is tough. Just because I had So Long Jerry is at the top of my list, spoiler alert for that video. It's a spoiler because literally I was such an idiot. I formatted the list in a dumb way where if you read the description, literally if you look at the description, it just immediately spoils what my number one is. I should have formatted it differently, but I'm too lazy to edit the description of that video because I know no one cares. Yeah, it looks like So Long Jerry's got 100%. But what I'm trying to say is just because, I had things in a certain order, just because I had So Long Jerry at number one in that, doesn't mean it's always going to be my number one. But, it really is amazing. But I love Long Beach Island. So Long Jerry. I could see people, I'm surprised none of you are like, oh, So Long Jerry's boring. I'm not saying that that's my opinion. That's not. I love it. I'm just surprised that there's not more people who are like, So Long Jerry's not really my thing. I'm surprised that there aren't, because it is a very slow, somber song. I can't let Jerry be my wife for nothing. That's a good way to look at it. That's another thing I love about the dynamic of the tournament bracket is like, oh, my favorite already got beaten, so I got to vote for this schmuck who beat him. At least it'll lead towards something, and then it just gets beaten anyway. Okay, yeah, Jerry's got a fairly commanding lead, so I'm going to say that So Long Jerry wins against Long Beach Island. Tough choice, but I would probably agree with that. We're really getting down to it now, folks. Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying versus Sweet Texas Fire. Sorry, I'm scrolling. Well, I gotta be honest. I Moon versus Texas. Cryin' Texas. Cryin' Texas sounds like it could be a good country song name, or even like a country album name. That's a good Cryin' Texas. That is because Texas is not a state known for people who cry a lot. It's known for people who will blow you away if they don't like you. Um, so it's a fun kind of contradiction. I'm gonna have to use that. Cryin' Texas. Do you all think this is a cool name, or am I just like dumb? Am I just going insane? It's a shame that Jebby's not here to mock me for the stupid things I say. Ooh, looks like it's 50-50. I mean, I would definitely say Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying, but you guys really like Sweet Texas Fire, so I don't dislike it, but certainly not like my absolute favorite by any means. But it's fun. It's fun on guitar especially. Yeah, it looks like Sweet Texas Fire is finally going to get knocked off its throne. Maybe I'll wait for if one more person votes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if another person's going to vote. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all right. Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying has finally defeated Sweet Texas Fire. Okay. Now we got Final Alarm versus Oh My Little Country Cottage. They've never played. Of course they haven't. There's no way. They've never played "Oh My Little Country Cottage" live, right? I would be very shocked if they did. I was gonna mention the pod. I was gonna mention the pod earlier. How there's no things from the pod left on the list in the tournament, because I'm really psyched for the Ween stuff that I ordered, which is the pod on vinyl, because just owning the pod on vinyl is just the funniest thing in the world to me. But it's also on that weird fecal matter cover, of course, of the brown vinyl. Of course, what other color could it possibly be? Just owning it on vinyl, but also the Pollo Asado shirt that I got. I'm just psyched for that. Anyone else here? Is there anyone else here who has gotten the pod on vinyl? I'd like to hear about that. Has ordered it, I should say, because it's not in yet. I don't think it's supposed to ship till like somewhere around halfway through November. All right, we got a 50-50 split, it looks like, between Final Alarm and... I'm happy that Little Country Cottage has made it this far. I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm definitely going to have to go with Final Alarm. And it looks like, because it's Mike McLean, you've ordered the pod. That's awesome. Doesn't it just get you so excited, the prospect of listening to Boing on vinyl? It gets me excited. I remember the last Ween album I listened to all the way through on vinyl was God, Ween, Satan, and it was a lot of fun. It was so fun. It's it's an experience listening to that front to back, or I should say front to back and then front to back again, because it's too looking forward to that coming out. Absolutely. Okay, 50-50 split between Final Alarm and Oh My Little Country Cottage. I like them both a lot for very different reasons, but I gotta go with Final Alarm. Just way more of a jam. Gonna get it at the store because shipping is crazy. Yeah, I just sort of jumped on the opportunity, which was kind of screwed up because I spent like way more money than I should have on merch. I really shouldn't have done that. But what can you say? All right, Homo Rainbow versus Young Chao Lin. This is, you know what? This is kind of tough. I know which one I will vote for. It's a little tough, but not that tough. Homo versus Young. That's a rapper name. Young Homo. Sobbing because Cottage lost. Yeah, it's a shame. Hey, someone's got to be the winner. Someone's got to be the loser. Forget the album, but I saw 12-inch vinyl, $500. The pod, before it got reissued now, the pod was obscenely expensive on vinyl. You could not find it for any lower than $200. And, you know, I'll never forgive myself. I have the 4, you know, Ween albums that I feel like you kind of need to have on vinyl. I have most of their albums now, but the 4 that I think kind of deserve the most to be on vinyl, the Mollusk, Chocolate and Cheese, the Mollusk, White Pepper, and Quebec. And to this day, I don't have Quebec on vinyl. Years ago, I'm talking years ago, I saw it at a Barnes and Noble, and I just didn't get it. But it was years. It was several years ago. It was like not super long after I first got into them, and I just didn't get it. Wow. 100% of the vote. Everyone votes for Homo Rainbow. No one votes for Young Chao Lin. I would probably vote for Young Chao Lin, honestly. It's a more unique song, I think, but Homo Rainbow is hilarious and it's got great vocal harmonies, but I think Young Chao Lin's a bit more unique. But the people have spoken. that is a landslide victory. Wow. I want a Ween record so bad, but the prices scare me. Yeah, they're not cheap. Some of them are cheap. There was this place called Admiral Analogs. I don't know if you can find them online. You can just like look up their name and find them. But they're really cool, and my friend like got me like 3 albums of theirs on vinyl that they just had there. They had the country album and Pure Guava, and I forget what else they had. It was one other album. It was pretty insane. Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire versus Booze Me Up and Get Me High. I keep thinking, just looking at this, that these matchups have already happened, but no, I'm just thinking of all the other songs that they've matched up against. Cover It With Gas and Set It On Fire versus Booze Me Up and Get Me High. Y'all let me know what you will vote for. Oh, I didn't end this. I forgot to end that poll. Gas versus booze. Gas versus booze. This is a tough one. This is tough. Which one would I vote for? You know, Booze Me Up and Get Me High is definitely like the more... They're both fun to sing along with, but, you know, Cover With Gas and Set It On Fire is more like just a jam. Booze Me Up and Get Me High is like, you know, everyone's, you know, swaying back and forth at the show. Everyone's sweaty, but everyone's happy and crying that the show's almost over. It's like a happy, joyous feeling singing that song. I think I would have to say Booze Me Up and Get Me High. I think. Oh, it looks like we got a 50% split. I have Quebec, White Pepper, Painting the Town Brown, God, Ween, Satan live. Freeman. Ooh, the Freeman album. That would be an awesome thing to have on vinyl. Or just in general. And Moist Boys 2. I've never seen a physical copy of a Moist Boys album in person. Quebec, yeah. That's a cool collection, dude. I do not have Painting the Town. I saw Painting the Town Brown on vinyl at, I think it was another Barnes and Noble. No, it was, I forget what store it was. It was some bookstore. But they had this awesome upstairs section. It was in a big mall. They had a ton of vinyl records and a ton of movies. It was awesome. and they had Paint the Town Brown, and it even advertised with a little sticker on the front. They even advertised that it had the legendary, the infamous, I think it actually said the infamous 26-minute Poop Ship Destroyer, which is pretty funny. Anyone wants to track, if anyone wants to trade, rather Guava Shinola Pod. Yeah, neat. Well, it's a 50% split. I'm going to have to let my opinion. Gas is the same as Bang Your Head. Yes, my friend made the exact same observation. My friend actually proposed that we should do a cover of like Bang Your Head by Quiet Riot and cover it with Gas and Set It on Fire over top of it, over top the riff, or it was vice versa. I'm not remembering. Like play the riff from one and do the other. And we never acted upon that, but somebody should. I'm sure somebody has, maybe. But anyway, okay. So 50% split on that. I'm going to enact my own opinion. I'm going to have to say that Booze just edges it out for me. Just edges it out. Who Dat versus Beacon Light. This one, okay. It is officially really tough for me. I'm not sure if I can do it. Who Dat? All right. I have a feeling. I'm not sure what you all are going to vote for. I'm going to say you all are going to vote for Beacon Light. I think Beacon Light's going to win. I think Who Dat is the stronger song. It's so unique, but they're both great songs. There's like, honestly, I don't have any problems with either of these songs. Like, they're both absolutely astounding. The best song on the X-Files soundtrack by a country mile versus Who Dat. I can't think of a funny qualifier for Who Dat. The best song in the X-Files soundtrack. Well, the question is, if Who Dat was also included on the X-Files movie soundtrack, would it then be the best song? Would it overtake Beacon Light as the best song? It looks like Beacon Light's. Yeah, it looks like Beacon Light has won. I think Beacon Light's more fun, but Who Dat is probably the slightly better song. It's definitely not like a fun jam of a song that you're going to play for someone at a party, like Beacon Light could potentially be. Looks like, okay, Beacon Light wins. All right. Beacon Light comes in. This is the semifinals now, right? No, well, we're not done yet, but I think, yeah, after that is going to be the semifinals. Oh my God. So after these two matchups, it's going to be the semifinals and then the finals. That's crazy. Ooh-Va-La versus Things You Already Know. Well, I know how much you guys love Things You Already Know, and I like Things You Already Know a lot, but you guys already know that. So this may be a landslide, but let's just do it anyway. Ooh, Things. That's what the poll says. Ooh, Things. Let me touch the things that are over there on the ground. That's what the comedy relief character says in some stupid thing. No, it's like Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi. Remember that moment in Return of the Jedi when, like, Chewbacca, for some reason, he sees a big slab of meat that's clearly a trap and he just blindly eats it? It's like, dude, Chewbacca's not just a dumb animal. He's like a super smart. That's what makes Chewbacca great, is that he's this super smart. He's like a co-pilot, and he fixes up the ship and stuff, but now he's just a big dumb animal. He's like a dog for some reason. I like that he looks like a big dumb monster, and he could just like tear you apart if he wanted to. And he's kind of impulsive, sort of, but he's like smart. That's what I liked about Chewbacca. And then that scene in Return of the Jedi, they're just like, nah, he's just a dumb dog. Like, what? Come on. just so they could get captured for some reason. Anyway, things you already know is clearing Uvala. I would probably say Uvala just because I love. I'm telling you guys, if you have only ever heard the Caesar demos version, it'll be weird. It's weird. It's weirder than the Caesar demos version, and you're gonna be like, it's not as cool as like the hard rock version. But dude, if you haven't heard it, give it a chance, and it's really awesome. It's awesomely produced. But I can't argue against Things You Already Know being a great song. Things You Already Know is a great song, and it wins. It has won between these. This is what's exciting. It's we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what the ultimate song is in just like a couple minutes here. I've Got No Dark Side versus the Argus Part 2. I know which one I would vote for. Darth Vader versus Greek mythology. I guess I just got Star Wars on the mind. Shoot. I know I mentioned Darth Vader earlier when I said Dark Side, but I've done so many polls. I've already done, this is probably like the 60th poll because I know by the end of this it'll be 63. Looks like Dark Side's winning. I'm kind of shocked by this. You guys love, I love I've Got No Dark Side. I love that song, but I'm just kind of surprised because the Argus Part 2 is just, isn't it just so perfect, by the way, because of the way that demos, I know it's because of the way that demos and stuff aren't really labeled and stuff. It's just sort of that general mix-up of things. But how perfect is it that, like, it seems like such a Ween move that if they released Argus Part 2, even though it came first, they would call it Argus Part 2. A total reversal. And it would work, because, like, it almost feels like a sequel to the Argus in a way, even though it's basically just kind of, it is kind of describing a completely different character, though. It's weird. But anyway, Dark Side is very much just annihilating Argus. Yeah, which is I would definitely say Argus Part 2, but the people have spoken. Maybe I should give it another second because there's 4 votes in. I didn't think I'd be the only one to vote for Argus. I thought the same thing, Gerald. I thought for sure that Argus was going to, I thought it was going to be kind of close, but I guess not. Well, Dark Side is still a banger. Oh yeah, I mean, no one here is denying that most of these songs are great. You know. Well, looks like Argus Part 2 has been booted. Just barely could not scrape by into the semifinals. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is crazy. We're already at the semifinals. Semifinals. We're so close. We've only got 5 polls left. Is that right? Wait. No, it's only 3 polls left. Is that right? No, it's 5. I guess no, I guess technically this isn't the semifinals because that's okay, and then the final. Okay, so it's the thing before the semifinals. What, if anyone knows, what is the official term for the round right before the semifinals? Anyway, it's going to be So Long Jerry versus, had to step away back now. It's all cool, man. I had to step away. Way back. But it's going to be So Long Jerry versus Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. You know, after this is done, there's probably one more poll that I'll just like throw in there for fun. Just see if anyone actually votes for it that has nothing to do with this list. Well, actually, it kind of does because 2 of the Stallion parts are on it. That probably just gave it away, but whatever. Yeah, it looks like So Long Jerry's going to win against Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. And Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying, I like it a lot, but I would definitely have to vote for Jerry there. Yeah, okay. Ooh, we get 6 votes. So unless 2 more people come in like right now and say that they vote for Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying. Quarterfinals. Quarterfinals. Thank you, Dr. Scotty. So it's quarterfinals, then semifinals, then finals. Okay, it looks like Jerry wins. So Long Jerry has defeated Don't Let the Moon Catch You Crying at long last. Like, look at all these songs it beat. Good lord. Good lord. Okay, now we've got Final Alarm versus Homo Rainbow. What a strange, what a strange matchup. Among many, but like, just because we're getting towards the end, it's weird that like that made it so far. Good song, but it's just weird. Final Alarm versus Homo Rainbow. Final Homo. The final boss of homos. Oh my god. Homo Rainbow is dominating. Absolutely destroying Final Alarm. This is tough for me. I don't know which one I would vote for. This is tough. Final Alarm is getting some traction, but it's probably not enough. It's probably not going to be enough to save it. But Homo Rainbow is definitely like more catchy, but I think Final Alarm, like those riffs in Final Alarm are so awesome. That middle section gets me every time. And then the part with vocals, I mean, think about it. It's a Ween song with 3 different sections. It's got the main section with the and then the big middle section. And then you've got the part with vocals. When at night it's time to flee. Oh my god, Jeter's backup vocals, especially on the public access version, are just awesome. But you guys have made it very clear that which one would I vote for? Homo Rainbow wins, but which one would I vote for? That's tough. Which one would I rather see live? Probably Final Alarm, but Homo Rainbow is great. But they're very different kind of songs, so it's not really that fair to compare them. But hey, whatever. Booze Me Up and Get Me High. Kind of surprised it made it this far, but hey, still good. Versus Beacon Light. Ooh, boy. All right, moment of truth. Moment of truth, ladies and gentlemen. Homo Rainbow has no right to be as beautiful as it is. Yeah, it's, you know, you'd say that about a lot of Ween songs, but they know how to make songs. They know how to do it, man. Booze Me Up and Get Me High versus Beacon Light. All right, people. Come on, party people. Put your hands in the air. Come on, party people. Vote for Beacon Light. Because that's what I want you to do. No, vote for whatever you want. You feel. Okay, Beacon Light is got a commanding lead. Yeah, Beacon Light is definitely the better song, I think. But which one would I rather see live? Well, okay, seeing Beacon Light would be pretty awesome. But Booze Me Up and Get Me High is definitely would be awesome to see live as well. But I definitely. Okay, yeah, Beacon Light wins. 1 vote for Beacon Light against 5. Sorry, 1 vote. 1 vote for Booze Me Up and Get Me High. 5 for Beacon Light from there. Okay, so Beacon Light, yeah, that is definitely like Beacon Light's definitely a worthy, because now it's in the semifinals. That was the quarterfinals. We're still in the quarterfinals. We got one more. Things You Already Know, the best Ween song according to everyone here, versus I've Got No Dark Side, the second best Ween song. Okay, this is kind of where you guys are probably gonna. It's got to be tight, right? Because you guys love these two songs. Things versus Dark Side. The Thing, Darth Vader versus The Thing, or Things. They're called The Things. What's the crappy Canadian movie? It's just called Things, or is it The Things? It's just called Things, I think. Oh my God, Things You Already Know is winning, but it's only got 2 votes. Oh man, Things is the best song objectively. Things is the best song objectively. I agree with you, but you don't have to say it twice necessarily. And I agree with you, but you don't have to say it twice necessarily. I put on a mix Ween playlist, and my buddy says you got to write down who are some of these bands. Who are some of these bands? I put on a mix Ween a Ween playlist, and your buddy said, okay, so your buddy has to your buddy said you should make a list, a playlist of Ween songs, and then for every single song be like, what band does this sound like? Yeah, people definitely, I'm sure a lot of people have done that. If it doesn't win, I'll flip a table. If Things doesn't win, then you'll flip a table. Well, consider your table safe and secure, because it looks like, which one would I vote for? I guess Things is the better song. Probably it has a bit more to it musically, but I do love Dark Side. Objectively and subjectively, well, I'll fall to my knees in a Walmart parking lot. I'll fall to my knees in a Walmart parking lot. Is that a Gerald? That's not a line in a song, is it? I don't think it is. You're saying that if it loses, then you'll then you'll freak out and you'll fall to your knees in a Walmart parking lot. Imagine. Well, I mean, I was gonna say, imagine being crazy enough to watch my video in a parking lot. But if you're actually doing that, thank you. I'm not making fun of you. Rainbow better than Things? That's not completely out of this world. I could be convinced to agree with that. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Things has the lead. So it defeats I've Got No Dark Side. And now we are at the semifinals. Only 4 songs left. Let's see which one gets to the end. So Long Jerry versus Homo Rainbow. Oh, I didn't end the poll yet. Okay. Jerry Homo. Jocko Homo. They tell us that we lost our tails, evolving up from little snails. I say it's all just wind and sails. Are we not men? We are Devo. Are we not men? D-E-V-O. Watching this on a road trip, so it's close enough. You just stop. All you have to do is just stop by a Walmart parking lot, and it'll complete the experience. Wow. Okay, Homo Rainbow has the lead. Wait, what? You ever just say something? I think when I do these like long streams, like I say something and I'm like, yeah, this is happening. Wait a minute, this is happening. You guys think Homo Rainbow's better than So Long Jerry? Oh my God. And it's like a 2-vote lead. Well, actually, I guess it's a 1 vote. No, wait. I don't even know, man. No, it's a 2-vote lead, right? Yeah. Voice of an Angel. Oh, why, thank you. You must have been talking about me. Weird Al has the voice of an angel. Yeah, I kind of can't believe this, Charles. Charles, did you vote for Jerry or Homo? Or Jocko Homo? As it appears in the Polkas on 45 medley by Weird Al. The riff, that riff sounds awesome on accordion. It really does. Objectively no, subjectively yes. So you just subjectively, yeah, okay. I can see that. I mean, Homo Rainbow is definitely the more accessible, normal, catchy song. But come on, it's so long, Jerry. Oh, I was. Devo was good. Thanks. Rainbow Isaac Hayes feature though. I thought you were Weird Al. My mistake. Yeah, I get that a lot. Haha. Homo Rainbow sucks. Where have you been? It's been clearing house. It's won like every single. That's the thing about democracy, you know. It could be like someone's least favorite song ever, but that's just one vote. I don't think Homo Rainbow sucks at all, but I definitely don't think it holds a candle to. It's just not as good of a song, you know. It's a fun song. It is a lot more of a fun, you know, normal catchy song. I'll give it that, and I like it. You know, I like almost all the songs on this bracket, with only a couple exceptions. And considering that these are all rarities and they're not even a part of their official discography, and there's like 62 songs total, the fact that there's only a handful that I don't like is astounding. Yeah, I'm just shocked. This is pretty crazy. Um, well, I guess I guess we know that Mike McLean Music and Charles are the two people who voted for So Long Jerry, and everyone else, you guys are insane. Rainbow, it does have the Isaac Hayes feature, I guess. I guess it does. I haven't listened to it in a long time. I guess I forgot that he's on there. Honestly, I've listened to the live versions of it a lot more recently than I have the recorded version. But I guess that's true. um, so as crazy as this is, you guys are really blowing my mind. But Homo Rainbow has defeated So Long Jerry. Dude, it came so far. It came from humble beginnings all the way up here for nothing. Just to get slaughtered. Okay. And then this is the second to last vote, everyone. The second to last poll. Actually, I'm going to do one more after this for funsies. But in terms of this tournament bracket, oh gosh, I think I know what you guys are going to do. Better song doesn't always determine favorite. Absolutely, Dr. Scotty Jones. You're absolutely right. It's all about what you personally prefer. Or if you just, feel the need to vote for whatever you think is objectively better, even if it's not your favorite in some cases. We're going to do Beacon Light. Man, I feel so bad for Beacon Light because I know you guys are going to destroy it. You guys are going to absolutely annihilate Beacon Light. Oh, man. Things you already know, it's good. It's good. How many times have they played it live? I know they've played it live, right? Have they? Have they played Things You Already Know live? They probably have. I just can't think of any performances. Ah, my boy. Look at how they massacred my boy. It was the best song on the X-Files soundtrack. That's not high praise, but it's true. Come on, guys. They never played this live? Huh. I would look it up on Brown Bass, but I don't want to necessarily interrupt things right now. 7 votes. Oh. Wait, was that for Beacon Light? I think it was. Ooh. So I'm going to there's literally only like 2 votes in the bracket left. So just need a Ween word. Screw you if you want to be with that. Yes. Yes, Gerald, that line is awesome. I will fully admit the lyrics and things you already know are awesome. If you want to be with that dude in the grass skirt, those my feelings won't be hurt. It's so good. We need a Ween world tour. We need a world tour. I'll wait just in case one more person throws their vote in, because I know a couple times we had 8 votes, but it's probably not going to happen. I will fully admit, things you already know, it's got some absolutely amazing lyrics. But dude, Beacon Light's got some fun stuff in it. I'm not sure if it's love, but it's coming down from the heavens above. Like, that's, and the way he sings it, it sounds cool. I don't know what he's talking about. It's like there's an alien invasion, but it's like positive. It's like flower powery, but it's not annoying. But yeah, things you already know. It's good. It's good. Very good. I chose Beacon. Dr. Scotty Jones. For real, it's so good. We need a Ween world tour. Yes, but there's no way that's gonna happen. When if anyone knows, when's the last time they played outside of the US? Does anyone know that? It was probably in like Canada or something, but who knows the last time that they played somewhere other than the US? And if it was Canada, where was the last place they played other than Canada and the US? Ween World Tour. 100 full Ween concerts. It's got to be more than that, dude. There's so many, which is awesome that they support bootlegging like that, because it really does, you know. I've seen so many performances that if they were, the guitar part's fun, yeah, but I love the guitar for Beacon Light. It's so fun and rocking. I'd love to have them come over again. Yes, I've only seen them once as well, and it was so amazing. Lyrics, chord progression, Jeter's voice, and the epic dual guitar solo, all just awesome. That's right, there is a dual guitar solo. Yep, it's good. You know what? Maybe I'll have to give things you already know another attentive listen after this. Some of these songs I've heard all of these songs at multiple times, but some of them I have a hazier memory of than others, but I remember them all. I remember almost all of them well enough, you know. They broke up after this Vancouver show. So, Australia, but I'm not sure. Toronto, but not sure when. So was the last time they played in the Vancouver show? Or was it Toronto? Well, I've given it a fair shot in case anyone else didn't want it to. But things you already know has slain my poor boy, Beacon Light. But now, this is so weird. This was not the final matchup I expected. Like, at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, you absolute mad lads, this is it. This is it. Ireland 2008. Wow, that's crazy. Not as crazy as this poll, though. I mean, good lord, people. Homo Rainbow. Homo Rainbow versus Beacon Light. I'm going to type out the whole name, even though their names aren't that long, because it's a special occasion, because this is the last one, people. Oh my God, I swear. You people. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm a fool. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know why I typed that. I just clicked that instinctually, I guess. I'm sorry. I did not mean to overwrite your guys' opinion. Sorry. my mind's sorry about that. Did not mean to. I guess I gave you guys a real scare there. Anyway, so yes, I'm sorry. I corrected that mistake. Don't know what I was thinking. But the rainbow, Homo Rainbow. I did it when I was typing out the name. I'm like, oh, it's a good thing things you already know. That's a slightly longer title than Beacon Light, and now the universe is punishing me because now I have to type it out too. All right, people. I've only just joined stream. Missing Wash Me Down or Caprice Classic. Caprice, yeah, isn't Caprice Classic a song? I know there's the Caprice Classic tape, but there was also a Caprice Classic song, right? That was not included on this, but Wash Me Down was included on this, and that got beaten by, what did that get beaten by? It was something. What beat Wash Me Down? Oh, of course, it was Things You Already Know. Come on, people. Well, okay, I don't know why I'm getting mad. I'm not actually mad. Things You Already Know is a very good song. You know, yeah. February 10th, 2022, they played in Toronto. Okay. So Ireland, 2008 might be the most recent time that they played outside of the U.S. and Canada, outside of North America, basically. That's good to know. They should totally play other places more, but I get why they don't. They're old and stuff, and they've played other places a fair bit. All right, I'm dancing around it for far too long. Here we go. The final poll of the bracket: Homo Rainbow versus Things You Already Know. Which one of these two songs is, according to you guys, the greatest Ween rarity? The greatest Ween song, not part of their official discography. Yeah, Things You Already Know is clearing. Well, it's only a 1 vote difference, actually. Caprice Classic's also a car. Well, yeah, but I thought they named that tape after one of the songs, or maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. That's probably, yeah. My table is at stake here. Come on, Things sweep. Come on, Things pull through. Yeah, I do think Things is the better song. But it would have been a little funnier if Homo Rainbow won. There's still a chance. There's 7 votes. There's probably no one else who's going to vote though. So yeah, it it probably won. I'll just leave it there for a minute. The asphalt isn't good for my knees. It is not. Oh God, I remember when I was a kid, I got in this really rough motorcycle accident, and I was like bleeding everywhere. It didn't even hurt that much. I was just like, I remember I was a little kid and my whole leg was like covered in blood, and I was like freaking out. I was like, and then I realized, like, wait, it doesn't actually hurt. It's just I'm freaking out because there's blood. Yeah, and for a long, long time, I had that scar on my knee. I'm checking my knee. It's not there anymore. I guess it could be, and it's just covered up with leg hair or whatever, which is kind of nasty. But I remember years of my life, every time I would like feel that part of my knee, and I would feel the indentation, which is pretty. It got really comfortable after a while, because I'd be sitting there like rubbing my knees when I'm like bored or whatever, and I would feel that, and I'd be like, this feels like comfortable. It's like I'm fidgeting with the indent I left when I did a really stupid thing where I tried to make some turn with a motorbike when I was 9. It was the stupidest thing in the world. Anyway, well, guys, it would have been great if it was Homo Rainbow, but it does appear you all got what you wanted. Consider your table safe. Consider your knees safe. Because, according to you guys, the greatest Ween rarity of all time is Things You Already Know. How appropriate, because you guys already knew that you were going to vote for this song and override everything else. I'm sure you did. Congratulations. It's funny because that wasn't even on my list. That wasn't even on my list of my favorite rarities. But it's a good song. It is. I keep like I keep dogging on it, or I'm pretending to dog on it, essentially. You know, I'm not actually mad at it. It's a very good song. I feel so seen right now. Yeah. Was Cornbread Red or Mountains and Buffaloes included? Yes, they were. They were included. And you guys did not vote for it. I don't remember who won that. I think it was Cornbread Red and Mountains of Buffalo went against each other. I think that's what happened. Would have taken Loop De Loop over Things. You know what? Honestly, a part of me would have, yeah. But I think Things You Already Know is the objectively better song. But I still like Loop. I love Loop De Loop. You know, it is a legitimately fun little jaunty tune. Dr. Scotty Jones, thank you so much. See you, mate. There's one more thing I'd like to do just for funsies. It kind of has to do with the stream. I'd like to throw in one more poll. Oh man. It doesn't look like I can do it. Wait, okay. I can't do a poll on here with more than 4 options. If that gives you a hint as to what poll I wanted to do. I wanted to ask you guys what your favorite stallion part was. Just for funsies, just because why not? So I can only have a poll with 4 options in the chat. So I guess I should just ask if any of you all are still here, and I'll end it like right after you guys say that, because I'm just legitimately curious. I figured, you know, sometimes I should like poll people and ask them what their favorite stallion part is. What is your guys' favorite stallion part? And why is it part 3? Because part 3 is the best. And if you all are just done, then you can just... But, yeah, mine is part 3, but you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with part 3. It's such a unique song. It's part 3 all day long, especially All Request Live version. I love the All Request Live version, and I love the album version. I think they're all just great. It's a unique song. It does not have a chorus. There's like no repeated section really. Instrumentally, they repeat the chords, and it's just one continuous melody. And it seems kind of rambly and weird, but he does sing the whole song. And I remember the whole melody. Part of that is because I'm a crazy person, but part 2 is your favorite? Ooh, that's probably my least favorite of the 5. Part 3 is it's the crowd pleaser. It's the crowd pleaser. Part 2 is funny. Part 1 is sort of ominous and dark. 4 is sort of an underdog. It's not... 1 through 3 are all pretty close. I would definitely say I like part 2 a good step down from the 1 and 3. 3 is a big step up from 1, and 1's a big step up from 2, I think. Because I like 1 a lot. I have a whole video about it. Part 4 is sort of a weird underdog, because it's not an amazing song, but it's just really solid for the most part, you know? For that one, I pretty much need, you know... to me, that's the All Request Live version, is part 4. And part 5 is also the All Request Live version for me. I need to hear that version. The super dirty, almost unintelligible version that's on Craters of the Sack, I definitely prefer All Request Live version of that. But, hey, Stallion, pretty much what I expected. Everyone loves Stallion Part 3, and for good reason. But hey, Part 2 is certainly... it's funny, and I think that the false ending to part 2, it's one of the unsung false endings in Ween songs, because everyone knows the false endings in Ween songs. Not everyone, but a lot of fans sort of know that to be their trademark. And part 2 kind of has an unsung one where it's a false ending for an album. And well, no, I was gonna say that's the only time they've ever done a false ending for the album, but obviously the Mollusk did that as well. with a full-on hidden track. But part two, it was funny where, I mean, it's already kind of a false ending where it should have ended with pork roll, egg, and cheese, but then it just keeps going with Stallion part two, and then that song also has a false ending, so it ends with the Stallion saying these really esoteric, weird, cryptic, mean, and also kind of nonsensical things to you. But yeah, that's the stream. I guess I did everything that I wanted to do. It got off to a slow start. Sorry about that, but I hope you guys had a really good time on this one. And you know, will I do another stream like this in the future? Maybe. I really liked the idea of doing this. It was a shame that certain people like Hey on Puds, I believe, said he wasn't able to free up a schedule for this. I just knew that I had to do this on this day in order for it to sort of work for me. So didn't mean to disrupt anyone's schedule, but thank you all for watching and voting along. And don't know when I'll do a stream on this, but I'll keep making videos and stuff, and probably keep on working on music and stuff. And thank you guys for sticking by.